Hello and welcome to the Dice of Might podcast. We are back for our second session of this Pathfinder campaign, which I still have yet to kind of name formally. We'll get there eventually. So we last kind of left the party, as you might have heard in the session recap. They kind of witnessed this ancient evil beast kind of just get freed from a black urn in this ancient memorial temple type building. After this thing broke out, they went back up to the surface, and Lydrenn was being burned to the ground by green flame, just as Sylvia had predicted. It is now that the party is kind of looking at this, and this is where we will start. So, Lydrenn is being burned to the ground by the same beast that you guys saw let out from the temple underneath you now. And it's not looking too great. You hear a lot of people screaming, and it's just chaos. There's black smoke billowing out of a bunch of corners of the town. Some people are trying to flee, but it doesn't look like they're getting very far. And you see those noxious vapors that were underneath the temple are starting to kind of spread out as well, as the thing kind of just starts demolishing. Yeah, exactly. In fact, you can almost kind of catch a whiff of it off the air from this distance, but it's not enough to make you guys sick or anything like that.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
So everybody's like projectile vomiting while running from the fire.
Yeah. Oh.
But again, no.
And trips over him.
Oh. Those poor towns.
Landing right in the vomit.
Oh.
It's like that Family Guy episode.
How much Epicac can we drink before we all fall?
Yeah, so it's not looking great. So, I'd like everybody to make a perception check for me.
Oh boy. 20.
Oh, damn.
Dang it.
Never mind, it's a 19.
Damn.
I got a 10.
Perception.
Okay, so I'm going to start around
15.
the table kind of counterclockwise so I can talk.
I probably get a 10 off of this.
Alright, so Malcolm,
Yes.
what'd you get?
19.
Murph?
I got a 10.
Xander?
9.
Sibo?
8.
And Davina?
15.
15. Okay, so Davina and Malgrim, you two can... It's a little bit bad. The fumes are kind of bad. They're kind of making your eyes sting a little bit, so you guys are kind of squinting, trying to see stuff. But as you guys kind of look through the brush you guys are currently sitting in, you catch kind of a glimmer of metal, and you see Ferdinand with several guards kind of run out of the town, and they start attacking this beast that's kind of just crushing everything. They manage to get like a few good hits in and everything, and the thing kind of recoils, its tail kind of hits a few of the guards, they go flying back, kind of screaming. And Ferdinand expertly delivers his great axe into its side, and you see this black ooze, just the same stuff from before, kind of just splatter out on the ground around him, and the entrails that were hanging off the beast are kind of split open. And the thing lets out just this loud just cry of pain, and it starts taking off. And you the smell that's coming off this thing, this decay and death, it kind of gets stronger as it kind of flaps, it's pushing it outward. And you just see the thing kind of, as it did when it left originally, kind of just goes off into the horizon. But Lydrenn is still burning at a very rampant rate.
Yeah.
So what would you guys like to do?
So anyone got a lot of water? Like, might need a lot.
Like an entire town full
Yeah.
of water?
For real.
I have a vial of that zombie juice, and that's about it.
Yeah, that vial of zombie juice might not.
It might make the fire stink, but, you know,
Yeah.
other than that, it's pretty much it.
Yeah, no,
It's pretty hard to make the place smell any worse than it already is right now.
You can try.
So, does anybody have any choices they want to make right here?
I would like to go into the town.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say.
you guys are going to start running up to
Mhm.
Ferdinand, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys meet up with Ferdinand, and you guys kind of also notice there's a figure in the close distance. It's kind of like moving pretty slow, but it's moving towards you guys as well. And as you guys kind of look a bit closer, you realize it's Sylvia, and she's got her kind of dancing lantern kind of swinging behind her and everything. And she looks totally fine.
I love her.
Why wouldn't she be fine?
So you guys kind of wait for her a little bit, because now that things have gotten slightly less chaotic. I mean, the place is still burning, but There's like townsfolk and guards kind of trying to work on that. Sylvia kind of approaches, and she sees all of you guys, and she kind of just smiles. She goes, "Ah, I see you got my message."
Yikes.
Yeah. Seems like what you're saying kind of came true here,
And she goes,
as we expected.
"Yes, it did, didn't it?" And she kind of looks over at Ferdinand with like this kind of just very grim, but yet very kind of happy smile.
Yikes.
And Ferdinand just kind of scowls at her, like she's not really paying attention to what's going on right now. And he just goes, "There's people dying in there, you know." Sylvia kind of just looks up and goes, "Well, if someone would have listened to me earlier, perhaps we could have avoided this." And the two kind of just start bickering back and forth. Things start looking a little bit tense between them. None of them are like drawing weapons or anything, but they're just kind of yelling while this place is burning behind them.
I think there's like a higher priority of what we should do.
Let's see.
Diplomacy.
Yeah, go ahead and make a diplomacy check.
Yeah, sure.
See
I was looking on here to see.
Plus 9, so let's go.
Damn.
Unnatural 20, yeah.
Okay. Ferdinand and Sylvia kind of both stop for a second and then look towards you. And Ferdinand kind of, yep.
I'll just go in and like sort of point to like the burning town. That's
It's a
right
very
behind
apparent
them.
green inferno happening behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ferdinand kind of like shakes from like his anger for a second and looks, and then just kind of like nods and just kind of takes off into the town. And then Sylvia, she just kind of stands there, and she just seems kind of giddy, a little bit macabre right now, but you know, these people have been calling her crazy and things like that for weeks.
Understandable.
About pretty much everything she has to say. So she's not happy with the situation that's going on, but like she knows she's right. And she just kind of starts speaking. So, what is it you are going to be doing next then?
We should help out, right? Like, we should definitely help out.
All right, that's great and all, but how exactly do you plan on doing that?
Sylvia kind of just sits there. You know, you've known that she's not a very strong old woman. She's kind of just standing there. She's like, "Well, you know, I won't be much use here."
Is there anybody I can go save?
Make a perception check as you look into the gates of the town.
19.
Yeah, in fact, kind of running around with what looks like kind of like a small cart full of baking supplies. You see that old woman from
The sleeping
the
dove.
Sleeping Dove, and she's freaking out, obviously.
I want to go help her and
she's
take
like trying
some of
to
the pastries.
she's like trying to push around this cart, but there's people running all around her, and she's not really getting anywhere, and she looks really scared.
Can I go help her? And is there any way that we can get the cart past the people, like, easily? Maybe if we go backwards.
Yeah,
or
you
anything?
could like run up and try to direct traffic, so to speak.
There we go. That's what I want to do.
Okay, so you kind of like start just directing people. Go ahead and make I don't know, make a charisma check for me. Just a basic charisma check.
Yeah.
Oh,
4.
So you're like trying to scream and direct traffic, and nobody seems to care. They're just kind of running around. They're just trying to get either
In the
in or
chaotic,
out, or just trying to like leave.
in the chaoticness of it, can I steal some pastries?
Somebody's what?
The pastries.
What's your alignment?
So you went from helping this person to stealing
Well,
their gifts.
I'm still trying to
still
help, but
trying.
I'm
Trying
also
to
like,
help.
oh.
Let me help reduce your inventory for you.
I'll make the call.
I'm lightening your load.
So as you look in the cart, there don't appear to be any finished pastries. These are just supplies for baking.
Pastries.
You already have two of them.
I thought you had
No,
three.
I have 2. I gave them to someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, I
I
know
don't
you
remember
gave it
who,
to.
but-
I know you gave one to Evelyn, one to Sylvia,
Oh,
and one to
Evelyn.
somebody.
I
else.
put it, gave it to the
Gravedigger,
guard.
right?
Yeah,
Gravedigger,
one guard.
yeah.
Yeah, the Gravedigger, yeah. So yeah, you have 2 right now. What, Sibo, Bennigan, you two want to spring into action and try anything, or?
Gosh, I don't really know what to do because everything's just super chaotic, right?
For the most part,
yeah.
you do see some of the townsfolk and some of the guards like kind of doing the bucket chain thing, where they're just like they're at a well and they're just delivering it back and forth. But yeah.
How much do those buckets weigh? Just out of curiosity.
I'd say they can hold like maybe a gallon and a half of water. They're not very large.
Okay. Just future purposes.
All right.
Okay.
Yikes.
Do I see any like townspeople like lying down on the ground at all, or?
There's a few. Some of them you can see are definitely dead.
Okay.
Some of them you can see like a couple that are kind of just like they seem to be like trying to ask for help, but there's a bunch of people out there that are not exactly trying to trample them, but it's kind of happening.
Okay.
And they don't really seem to be seen or heard well.
I'll go ahead and try to go to some of them and cast Stabilize.
Oh, sure. Okay. So you're just going to try to...
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to tend the weak then, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Xander, do you have anything in particular?
No, I'm just going to sit in the grass and whisper to my friend and say, and I thought I was the weird one.
Not gonna try to help.
So you're just like chilling with Malgrim. Like, so,
You guys suck.
So the Spire, though. Murph.
So, I'm gonna ask Sylvia, where do you plan on going now?
She goes, well, I've found a city kind of, not exactly close by, but I'll be able to manage to get there.
Do you need any help getting out of here, or anything?
I should be able to get there myself.
Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck.
She just kind of smiles and thanks you.
Alright,
I love you, Sylvia.
I guess I'm gonna try to help with the cart, too, because
Okay.
even though
Thank
I'm
you.
not very strong, I can try.
Okay, so are you gonna also try to kind of direct?
I don't know. Is she having problems pushing the cart, or?
She's not trying to push it. Right now, she's just trying to get the traffic away from everything. Like,
Okay,
she's trying
I
to make
guess
kind of a
I
clear
guess
path.
I could try.
I'm gonna go for it.
Charisma?
Yep.
Okay. 12.
So yeah, you kind of catch attention of a couple people, and they kind of just go like they're kind of like trying to make more of a path for it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it should be clear enough to kind of get the cart through the gate at least. And so the woman, she kind of just like smiles and just kind of starts pushing the cart through very quickly, just trying to get out of the way.
Wait, quick question. Back to me not stealing the pastries. Does she have any coffee beans on her cart?
No.
Damn it!
Malcolm, is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah. Is there like any people like trapped in houses that I could see, or?
Well, keep in mind you're looking through the gate.
Oh, right.
So there's that section with a sign that kind of leads towards the housing district, but you can't really see it from the entrance.
Okay.
So you'd have to kind of go in and check that way.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Okay. So yeah. So you run. You can smell the smoke kind of just entering your lungs. Kind of let out a couple coughs because it's getting kind of thick at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And as you kind of dart around the corner to kind of look down the housing district, there appears to be a couple houses on fire, and there appears to be some family in an upper level of one of the houses that are kind of just freaking out.
Okay. Is it a 2-story house or 1-story house? 2. And they're on the 2nd story?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I run?
Just the one sitting there.
Can I run up to the front door and kick it down?
Okay, make a strength check for me.
Yikes.
What'd you get?
8.
8?
Yeah.
So it takes you a few tries, but with all the things that have been kind of going on, and the place is burning, its structural integrity is not the best right now. So you kind of you kick down it takes a few tries, but the door splinters off the hinges, and the smell of smoke is very apparent in here. You see like this black just funneling out of the upper stairwell.
Can I don't know if you're gonna switch to someone else. Can I take the banner I had around my waist and like put it over?
Yeah. Okay, so you're making a mask.
Like a filter, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay, so then as you're doing that, Davina,
Save everybody. My heart is so sad right now.
okay, so you got the pastry lady. She's out with the cart now,
good.
and she seems to be fine. So you and Murph are kind of just back at the entrance now.
I want to go help save people.
Okay. Is there
Can
any
I,
particular location?
Can
you're
I
looking?
throw my robe up to what's your name?
You don't know where he went. Well, you were kind of helping. He kind of went with he went against
is there
the
anybody
grain.
I can see that I can go and help?
Well, it looks like Sibo's got some of the weak kind of tended to a little bit. He's trying to keep the area clear a little bit for the most part, but you do notice that there's some merchants that are running through from the marketplace that are also looking very fearful. And there might be more down that way.
Okay, I'm gonna go down that way.
Okay. So as you go down there, there's a few stands that are on fire. Sylvia's is basically ash at this point. It was kind of already bad wood to begin with, and she didn't really try because she was out before everything kind of went down. Yeah. The jeweler that you remember from earlier is struggling to throw things in a crate and kind of get everything set up. But yeah, it looks like he's having trouble.
I'll go help him.
Okay.
Put things in places. And
all right. So you're gonna start kind of just like helping him pack and everything, getting him kind of figured out. Sibo, everything seems to be going well with you and Bennigan. You've got the week kind of figured out, and Bennigan kind of pipes up and goes, "We need to get them out of here."
Yeah, I agree. So then I'll go ahead and hold on. I'll go ahead and have Bennigan try to pick him up by their collar and sort of drag.
Oh, so you're gonna drag these? Okay.
I mean, well, Bennigan's medium sized.
Yeah.
They can't ride him.
Yeah. No, I get it. Make Bennigan. Are you trying to carry one or two at a time? Because right now you got two of them.
All right. Yeah. I can go ahead. Well, yeah, just the two because I have to go and still drive him or whatever.
Yeah, so go ahead and have Bennigan make a strength check for me.
Bennigan make a strength check, okay.
It's going to be a little bit high because he's trying to carry two at a time.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm stressed. Oh no.
No, that's going to be a probably no since I rolled a 3.
You kind of hear him kind of muffled on trying to grab the scruff. He's like, "Master, I think there's too many."
Can I run over and try to help him get some people out?
Yeah, so you notice that Bennigan's struggling to drag. Xander, did you want to help out with that? Okay. All right, so Xander and Murphy.
I was gonna say, please.
They see Bennigan kind of struggling, and so they each kind of take one, and they're and Bennigan's just like, "Oh, okay." And so you guys kind of just start dragging them kind of out. So then Malgrim, you got your mask and you're kind of going through the stairwell. Give me a Constitution check. I'll give you a +2 because you got the mask.
Would that be Fortitude?
No, this is a straight Constitution. Is endurance a skill in this one again?
No.
No. Okay.
No, that's a feat.
I tend to get those additions mixed up. So yeah, just a Constitution check then. Yeah,
okay.
I'll give you a +2 because you got the mask.
Okay, so a 19.
Yeah. So yeah, you kind of stay a bit low. It doesn't seem like there's too much getting in your lungs.
Awesome.
You notice it is a woman and a couple of children, kind of just sitting in one of the corners. The window that is next to them is the glass is all broken around the edges, and it's kind of spilled out and in, kind of as things were shaking around. It doesn't look like that's going to be a great exit for them. Yeah. And it appears the only other way is back down the stairwell, which smoke is pouring in from the roof at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you like to do with that?
Can I, I'll pick up the child and carry them and tell the mother to stay low and follow me through.
Okay, are you grabbing one or both the children?
Oh, there's two?
Yeah.
I'll grab both of them then.
Okay.
I'm so stressed.
All right, so you kind of grab them and you're going to keep them low.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to take a 20 kind of doing that down? You want to take your time or?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it does take you a little bit to get it done, and you let kind of her go first, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you're starting to head down the stairwell, the roof kind of caves in slightly, and some boards kind of fall, and the carpet starts catching fire too. So there's just more and more of this just kind of going. So you kind of quickly kind of go down with the rest of them, and you manage to get them out kind of right as the house just collapses straight down.
Yeah.
It was a close call.
Yeah.
And they kind of thank you really quickly and just start running off towards the exit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at this point, anybody who is in the town, is everybody in the town right now?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I'd say so.
You notice that the bucket chain is kind of working, but it's taking a little while. Ferdinand's trying his best to instruct the men to, kind of just efficiently get rid of the fire and all that, but it's large. And it keeps spreading as just more time passes. In fact, Xander, I'm assuming you guys are kind of pulling them out, the people out now. Sylvia kind of looks at you for a second and just goes, you wouldn't happen to have any ice magic, would you?
Yeah, I do.
Ooh.
Ah, that might do something with that. And she kind of looks and she goes, it doesn't seem that Ferdinand and his men are quite adept at what they're doing. And she kind of cackles for a second.
Okay.
And this goes, but really, you should probably go help them.
So I'm gonna go over and cast Ray of Frost on some of the flames that they're trying to put out.
Yeah. So as you point your finger and you kind of just cast it, and it's kind of just like a beam, and it just kind of starts putting out some of it. And you see kind of more smoke just kind of come up as the fire starts collapsing down a bit. It looks like it'll kind of work for a bit. It'll probably take you a while to get everything kind of down, but it'll certainly speed and quicken the process. Okay. What is everyone else doing at this point? Sibo and Murph, you two kind of get the rest of them kind of out of the way. Well, the rest of the ones that Sibo was tending to.
Yeah.
And then Davina, at this point, you're with the jeweler. You've gotten everything kind of packed, and you're now kind of leading him down towards the crowd. Yeah.
How's the coffee shop looking?
That stand is definitely not here.
Okay, well, is there any coffee beans on the ground?
Make a perception check.
Damn it. Wait, I have decent perception. No, I don't.
No, I don't.
Hold on. Oh, yes, I do. No, I don't. I don't see shit.
Yeah, there are no beans. So you kind of start, rushing them out, and you kind of look on the ground for a second, and then look back up, and you manage to get them out.
Right.
At this point, most of the townsfolk who are still able to move or even injured, they seem to be out now. Okay. Ferdinand's been trying to evacuate people as well while they kind of put out the fire. It takes you about probably an hour and a half, even with the the guards' help and everything, and the fire seems to be pretty well contained. There's maybe still some smolders kind of happening, but nothing serious. Ferdinand kind of approaches you guys afterwards, and he's kind of out of breath. He's just like, thank you. This has been just, and he's just speechless. Everything's just gone. There's some of the walls left and maybe a few buildings, but this place is gone. And he kind of just asks, where exactly are you guys going to go now?
I look at the map. I have no idea.
Yeah, you look down at your experiment and just black puddle, and you kind of just see Lydrenn is kind of flickering almost now.
Yeah. I'll look at the sky. Do I see any birds or anything?
Due to all of the smoke that's been pouring out of this area, not many avian folk are kind of going around this area.
But is there some? I'll assume no.
We'll check for you.
Okay.
Where are all the people from the town going?
They're kind of just spread out here right now.
Just out towards the foresty area.
Kind of, yeah. They've kind of just dispersed. There are no birds that you can see.
All right. Well, I'm lost in where to go.
Okay.
I know Sylvia was talking about another town that wasn't close, but it was a decent ways away.
Yeah, that is true. Sylvia mentioned just a city to you. She didn't give a name or anything.
Said towards the west?
It's further along the coast. It's a bit south from Lydrenn.
Okay.
It's another kind of port town.
All right.
So, you think we should go there then?
Well, I don't... If anyone else has any ideas, I'm open. Otherwise, I suggest we go somewhere.
Ferdinand, after kind of getting the townsfolk kind of figured out and situated, he just kind of goes, it's going to take a lot to rebuild anything around here. I know it's asking a lot considering what you guys have kind of done for us over these past few days. But if you come across any villages nearby or anywhere, I just appreciate if you'd give them information that this happened. And he goes, if this is the darkness that the legends spoke of, it will continue to spread throughout the region. It won't be the last time we see that. So, if you could just do that for me, I'm going to try my best to keep the townsfolk kind of ordered and fed and sheltered, but it's going to be a bit rough now.
I hand him my 2 pastries.
He kind of he nods and thanks you, and he kind of hands them to a guard who's kind of managing whatever food that they could put together.
I'm so sad.
Well, a town burning down isn't exactly a happy experience for most. Sylvia approaches and kind of just tells you she's going to be leaving soon. She said, "It's about time that I head to Bryanstead now. It's going to be quite a long trip for myself, so I should probably get going so I don't have to spend too many nights out there."
You feel like you need anyone to accompany you?
I should be able to take care of myself quite easily. I do appreciate it though.
Anything you've seen since this? Is there anything that she's like? Vision?
She's still quite exhausted from the last vision that you saw her to. It seemed to really take a lot out of her. She's trying to keep most of her strength for the journey that she's going to be going on. Is there anything else you guys would like to say to Sylvia before you guys leave?
I love you.
She kind of just gives a smile and just says, "Well, if that's all, then I'll be taking my leave." And she kind of just throws the lantern kind of up in the air and it kind of starts swinging by her shoulder, and she starts kind of taking one of the roads.
I want to kneel down next to Malgrim and just be like, I think we fucked up here.
Yikes.
Seeing that, like, this whole beast that came out and burned the city down was, we kind of feel like, at least I feel like we caused some of it.
Well, I mean,
like awoken something.
You did try to stop your master from, bringing it back. Yeah, but things did not go well as planned in that regard. So with that, where would you guys like to go next?
Only leads Bernstead, right?
That is where the road that Sylvia is going down is going, yes.
I'm going to mention to them that, like, stone structure.
Right. Yeah.
That was north of my camp, right?
Yeah.
I think it was north, yeah.
So, basically Malgrim explains that when he first woke up, after looking around the perimeter a bit, he did notice that there was a stone structure a little bit off the ways of the main road to Lydrenn.
It's a little interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we have nothing else to do, so.
All right. So is that where you guys would like to head then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So when you guys kind of make your way over there, Malgrim, you notice the stone structure that you saw, it's not as tall as you first thought. It might have just been your senses kind of reconfiguring when you woke up. But I'd like you to go ahead and make a perception check as you kind of start approaching.
9.
Okay. You don't notice anything significant, but that structure definitely looks shorter than it did when you first looked at it.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys kind of approach, and you find this stone structure that's jutting out of the ground at kind of a weird angle. It appears to kind of have like one of those castle tops where the bricks kind of alternate kind of around the roof. Mm-hmm. In fact, you notice that what's sticking out of the ground is the roof.
Oh.
It looks very buried. It looks very buried. And you notice, Malgrim, I'd like you to make another perception check.
Oh boy, here we go. 4.
Oh my god.
You don't notice anything significant as you, right away as you kind of go up. So yeah, there does not appear to be any door, as this is the roof.
Is there a window?
There is not a window either from up here, at least in the section that's uncovered. The wall that kind of if you wanted to try to climb up to the top of it, it's about 20 feet up. Is where this roof is jutting out.
Well, all I know is that I can't climb things.
I cannot climb things either.
I have a rope.
You want to try to climb?
7 strength.
Okay,
so
go
that's
for it.
Not happening.
22. I can climb, but I can't see.
Alright. So you start making your way up, and as you kind of make the way over, you notice that there is a kind of a steel rod laced between some stone rings that are kind of near the top. And you notice that there's something, some kind of fabric that's kind of bent over the top of it. And it looks very just shredded as it kind of flips over. So like the back of it's like really white, but it doesn't look like it's showing the face. So you kind of make your way on the other side. You notice that there is like a wooden door on like this roof section a little bit ahead. It's kind of an odd walk because it's a slant. But yeah, you can definitely see that there's a door over there. So what would the rest of you like to do?
Can I? Are you strong?
I'm just curious how you're gonna get over.
Shit!
It's fine,
I
it's
forgot
just a
about
bum
that.
leg. It's just leaving Bennigan behind.
I have a rope. Would that help?
I'll
Like,
actually
throw
go
it
ahead and
to-
ask. So Bennigan, you cool being alone for a little bit?
He's like, but where are you going?
Up this castle.
And he kind of starts like pawing at it, like trying to see if maybe he can get like a foothold or something. And he's just like, oh, yeah. I guess I could sit here for like a little bit.
Okay. Well, hour tops.
Okay, yeah, just don't be gone too long.
Okay.
He goes, I'll try my best not to get in any trouble. He kind of just like lays down and kind of just sits there. And after kind of processing for a moment, he'll just be like, oh, I'll keep watch.
Oh. Just yell at me.
I mean, I can try.
Thanks.
So he kind of like he sits down, his tail's wagging, he's just kind of taking his little watch position. What about the rest of you?
I could try to climb this thing. I just hope I don't get a broken leg. Otherwise, it'll be two people.
Wait, would it help if I threw my rope up to Jace and he held it well?
How many feet of rope do you have?
I want to say 50, but I'm not sure.
Okay, because remember it's 20 feet up
Yeah, I know.
over one end.
Let me just check really quick. Because I didn't write it down, of course. Story of my life.
I think rope is sold in 50 feet.
Yeah, I do. I'm pretty sure it's 50.
Okay, we can
What
throw
we
that
can
then.
do maybe is I've got knotted rope, so it's a little bit shorter than 50.
This is why I don't try to help.
No. So like, if it's not enough, we can like tie our ropes together, throw
There you
your
go.
side over first, and we'll have something to kind of climb on.
Okay.
Make it easier on the guy with the bum leg.
True.
Right.
Oh,
I
can
say,
I tie a dog to the rope and pull it out?
Either that, or you could tie it to like a platform and have him stand on it, like work a pulley system.
Oh, there
So
you go.
Davina does have like 50 feet of rope, so it could make over the edge. So is that what you guys want to do then?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So Malcolm, you see this end of rope just kind of,
Yeah,
and
it's
it goes
50.
over the end. And I'm assuming you guys are like yelling instructions to him because you can't really see him right now.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, they basically instruct you like, "Hey, hold the rope. We're gonna try to."
Does that give
Come
us
on.
advantage or no?
So the system doesn't have advantage, but I can give small
Yeah.
bonuses.
God damn
Okay.
it.
Can you give me a +2 to cancel out the negative?
Malcolm, go ahead and give me a strength check.
Oh no, if you fail.
Oh, 22.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, who's going first?
I will.
Okay, great. You also make a strength check.
Oh, perfect.
Actually, it'd be a climb check for you.
Oh, either way, I get the same bonus for it, so. 5.
Okay, so you grab the rope.
I'll
And
support people.
So you grab the rope and you're trying to get a foothold, and
I'll
it's
go last.
not working. So like your feet kind of like scuffle against the edge, and you kind of just try to see if maybe someone else
Alright,
wants
I'll
to
sit
go.
at the bottom and I'll
Don't
like help
give me a-
people up.
Please help me.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
But are you gonna give me any bonuses for the rope, or
What'd you get?
I got a 15 without bonuses?
Oh, well, with Malgrim holding on,
Yeah.
yeah, 15 should be kind of enough.
All right.
So you
First
kind
time
of
I
also
applied
scramble
something.
across. Now there are 2 people. Sibo.
There's 3 of us. I'm confused.
You and Davina can't really get a good foothold. Xander, do you want to go
Watch
try?
my
Yeah,
hand.
Alright, go for it.
Oh!
Yeah, so, yeah, no probs.
Can I try again?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Oh! No, that doesn't count. Okay.
There we go.
19.
It wasn't in the tray, guy.
It didn't count.
Yeah, so then you're making over Sibo,
Yeah,
you're
okay.
the only one.
I'll try.
Oh no! You get to
I'll
stay
try.
with him.
I'll try it one more time.
Okay.
Oh, he's trying so. He doesn't have a leg.
So,
Instead of trying to climb,
Well, can't seem to get a good
can I
foothold.
tell him to like tie it around his waist or something?
Oh, yeah, you can try that.
Okay, yeah, I'll try that.
Picks up Bennigan.
The sound of his backpack.
So, okay, Malcolm, go ahead and give me a
Can
strength
I-
check.
Oh, I guess I can send to
Hold.
that.
14.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So yeah, it goes, and then and it kind of goes over the rope. And you like catch him as he kind of comes over.
Well, that rate, you might as well try it with Bennigan.
There was nobody over that time Bennigan. Yeah, but like as you kind of like get lifted over, you see Bennigan just kind of like looks up at you, and he like kind of looks out, and he's like, it looks like he's keeping watch. So yeah, so you guys are now on this edge. Like you guys on the other side.
castle thing.
I'm gonna point out the 2 things that I saw up here.
Oh, okay. So firstly, yeah, you see the door. It's like a wooden trap door about 5 feet, 5 feet aside. So pretty large door. And then yeah, the fabric. It's kind of almost kind of like blowing in the wind a little bit on the top, but it's not like catching anything. So what would you guys like to do?
Can I investigate the fabric?
Sure. So do you want to like take it off the rod and like lay it out, or do you want to just like flip it?
I'll lay it out.
Okay, so you kind of just like carefully just kind of pull the rod off, and the fabric kind of comes with. As you flip it over, you notice that this fabric it looks very familiar to you actually. In fact, it looks very similar to the mask you have wrapped around your face right now.
Awesome.
And it's at this point, Malgrim, you kind of just blank out for a second as memories flood back into your head a little bit more, like last time. You remember that this Spire was a place where a large battle took place, actually. It was the battle before you were anointed.
Oh.
In fact, your war chief led you in this fight against a human tribe that was nearby. They were looking to kind of conquer it for a lord of a different part of the continent.
Mm-hmm.
This fight was very long, very hard, and everything just kind of the whole fight was just incredibly just long and drawn out.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you took down several by yourself. You remember just kind of cutting them down and just like yelling with this fury of hobgoblin war. And you also remember your leader getting the human tribe's leader and just decapitating him in front of everybody. And that was when you won the fight. You also remember that afterwards this was another tower of yours. And you remember ripping off part of the banner as part of your trophy. As this goes. And you remember just tying it around your waist for your anointing ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah, this tower looks very aged, and it is very buried now.
Yeah. Not like it was.
Those are 2 things that were not in your memory that you just recalled.
Yeah.
This thing was very tall before, and you are now at the roof.
Yeah.
You also remember that after the goblin forces won this tower, this was a stockpile for you. This was kind of like a resource depot.
Okay.
You remember stocking some equipment and some extra resources here.
Okay.
Yep. And then the rest of the party, you kind of just see Malgrim just blank out for like a solid 2 minutes.
Oh.
And then he kind of just like shakes his head and he's like back.
Can I see anything from up here? Just like any people
Make
or...
a perception check for me. This is like gonna be like the bane of you guys.
Yeah.
6.
No.
Okay. There's a lot of you see a lot of smoke from where Lydrenn was at.
From where it
Okay,
was.
I'm retiring this dice and
Yeah,
crack it.
from where Lydrenn was. That's a very good thing to point out.
I just like, you're alright? You alright over there?
Yeah. I'm good.
Alright.
Talk down on us for a minute.
Suggest we get a move on then.
Before we go, can I use detect magic?
Yeah,
Sure.
I was gonna do that, but I don't
Alright, so you just cast it.
Yeah, it's just a cast.
You don't detect anything kind of magical up here, and it doesn't seem like there's anything right directly below you that's magical.
Okay.
It seems pretty mundane up here.
Alright. So I don't say anything.
Okay.
To the trapdoor.
Alright, so what do you guys like to do now?
To the trapdoor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way further, right?
Alright. So who's going first? What's your guys' marching
Not me.
order?
Not me, I'm the archer.
I'll go
That
first.
somehow has more
Oh
health
shit,
than
I
most
forgot
people.
that I am gonna die quickly.
Don't get hit.
I'll go.
That's like the golden rule of combat. Don't get hit.
I'll go 4th.
Okay.
I'll go
I can go second or
third.
third. That's not a problem with me.
Okay, so we have Malgrim in the front.
Yep.
And then who follows him?
I guess
His
so.
best friend.
Yeah,
You
Oh,
got the whole
I'll
hand.
I'll
Alright,
stick with the middle.
Gotcha. The hand holding is a necessity. I forgot.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'll go
so then
last.
you two.
Not all the time when we go into dangerous places, but right now.
It's a sycamore thing.
All right.
From Sycamore.
No, the football player. Never mind.
All right. So then, so Malgrim, and then Xander, and I'm guessing Murph after that.
Mhm.
Okay, and then Sibo, and then Davina.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So yeah, so you guys open this door, and the staircase is down at a very direct angle. As remember, this place is slanted right now,
Yeah.
so it's gonna feel a little weird.
Just
You're
don't
kind of
trip
trying
down
to
the
fix your
stairs.
center of gravity a
So,
little bit.
we
as
have
you're
to
like
take it
walking
slow
down these very
anyway
crooked
because I have a
stairs.
walking speed of 15.
Do you have
Okay.
anything that'll assist you walking?
Then again,
Okay. Do you
Well,
want
I
to
mean-
like low key use my quarterstaff as a like a crutch?
Well, that quarterstaff is gonna be huge on him.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, you still have your
Fuck!
spirit.
I keep forgetting you're tiny.
I'll use my sphere.
Oh yeah, I say,
I'm
I
just
say
trying
I
to
take
help.
my torch and I flip it upside down.
Yeah.
For him.
it's really appreciated.
Yeah. Well,
All I have is
mechanically,
is
I
a bed
still
roll.
walk 15 feet.
Remember, all I have is a bedroll in my
Well,
bag.
and
Yeah,
back-
right.
Okay, so as you guys kind of wander down, it is very dark.
Can I light that green torch I have?
Sure. So you kind of pull the torch out, and it's still about spear size in your hands. You go ahead and light it, and it gives off. It kind of sputters for a second, and it produces that nice bright green flame you remember. So with that, this room, as you remember, this room up here was a viewing area. Obviously, you could get a very good view from the roof, but there wasn't a lot of protection up there.
Right.
You notice that there are some arrow slits that are placed in the walls, but dirt has kind of started to come through them as it was buried.
Mhm.
You notice that there is the stairwell kind of continues as you go down. But this area, it's got like a lot of markings from like arrows that have been scraped across the floor and all that stuff. And actually, as you kind of start looking around, you notice that there is a goblin skeleton kind of just leaned up against the wall with a very broken and deteriorated bow sitting there.
Does the bow still work?
No.
Okay.
It's very much rotted.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very crude bow to begin with, and it's been down here for a while.
Do I recognize like the armor it's wearing by anyone I knew, or?
Ooh, I have something I can do here.
Yeah.
How helpful it would be.
This was Boggin.
Did
You remember Boggin was kind of
That's what I was gonna do. Yeah.
he was kind of a recruit that was placed here, and you remember his aim was bad.
Oh.
That's why they actually kept him in here a lot, so he could try to practice, and he was still just terrible. But he did really like being a part of the Legion, so yeah. So that's basically what's kind of going on in this room down here.
Okay. I have dark vision. Can
Okay.
I see anything else, like any bodies or doors or anything I can take things from?
So as far as seeing wise, it's pretty easy because you got a torch lit.
well,
But I would
farther
like,
than that.
is anyone actively searching right now?
I guess I am. I have 120 feet dank vision, so
Jesus Christ!
Okay, then I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna look around. Everybody make a perception check for me.
God damn it! Can I roll again?
I got a 25.
Oh my, okay.
I don't like this thing anymore. I want to roll on my own.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Not much better.
Just re-roll.
You hear kind of some skittering and just very odd sounds of like legs hitting the floor, like very tiny legs hitting the floor from this lower section. But you're not exactly sure what it is.
Is it just me that hears that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna relay that to everybody. I hear some sort of skittering of tiny legs.
Yikes.
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down
Yeah. You
there.
definitely hear something.
Can I throw a bomb down there?
I mean, you could
No,
try.
I'm not
I'm just
going
saying,
to.
if
I'm
you
not going
do-
to.
Those spiders are gonna get you. You're gonna crawl up.
Stop.
Okay, so yeah. So are you guys gonna start making your way down?
Sure.
Okay. So this one, this kind of section of the spire, this was a kind of a general weapons storage area for you guys. You remember seeing a lot of like weapon racks and whatnot that were kind of placed down here. You see some of them are kind of intact, but they're kind of thrown around the ground. There's a lot of rusted daggers and just very crude weapons that were made by some of the lower goblin servants that you guys had in this legion. Nothing that seems to be really workable. Now, Murph, I'd like you to go ahead and make another perception check for me.
All right. Oh, I got a 10.
Okay.
Jesus.
The skittering is still here, but it sounds almost kind of broken. Like you hear like a couple of taps, just like.
So it's like broken up.
It's weird, yeah.
Was there any like doors or anything?
The skittering sounds
well, the staircase
a little
keeps
weird
going
to me.
down.
It's
It basically
broken up.
As Malcolm kind of remembers, this
Like
place was a
broken
spire.
legs?
So there was one.
I wouldn't say that, but it's more of like the patterns are broken up, like very spaced out.
Yeah. So like as Malcolm can kind of remember, this place was a spire. It was taken over by the goblins, and it has like one continuous stairwell that goes through it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of just broken up into sections. So you guys went through the roof, and you went through the part where like arrow slits were, and that's where they kind of kept the defense going from the upper level. So you're kind of going near like the middle section of this, and this is where like the weapons were kept and everything. In fact, so you made a perception check. Is anyone else kind of like actively looking around the room right now, or are you guys just kind of going?
Can I
look.
drink the last one that I have prepared right now? My detect secret doors.
Sure.
It's probably a bad idea, but
How long does that even last?
I don't know. Hold on, let me check.
Okay, so while you're checking that, okay, so everyone else is everyone else making a perception check?
Yeah.
Okay.
12?
13.
It just says it reveals hidden doors within 60 feet, but I'll check on mine too.
Not good.
9.
Should I
So-
also make? Can I also make perception check?
Yeah, go for it.
Fucking damn it! 11.
Your dice are not doing too
No,
well. today.
I'm over it.
So Sibo, you rolled a 13, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Sibo, you hear this clattering too now, and you actually found a source of it. You notice that there are two very oddly shaped creatures scuttering around the floor kind of awkwardly. They appear to kind of look like if you took a worm and you cut off one end, and it's just kind of like skittering across the floor very awkwardly. It looks like its legs don't really exist well. But you also notice that out of the two creatures' mouths, there's these like just these tentacles just kind of sprouting out, and you kind of see it kind of glistens in the torchlight, and the slime that they're leaving around the room is just kind of puddling everywhere.
Detect secret doors has no time limit. It just shows or reveals any doors hidden within 60 feet from me.
Okay, so as you down it, your eyes kind of open really quickly, and you kind of scan the room, and there don't appear to be any secret passages in this section.
In this section, meaning you should have saved it.
Well, I'm sure I'll still have like less than 10 minutes.
Jeez, don't that guy's being savage. So yeah, these things are kind of perk up and kind of notice you guys for a second, and they kind of start just slowly moving towards you guys. But I'd like everybody to roll for, initiative now.
All right. I got an 18.
22.
11.
What the?
I have a +7.
Oh my god.
8.
19.
Okay, so Malcolm.
22.
Okay, 22. Xander.
19.
19. Murph.
18.
Sibo.
11.
And Davina.
8. I rolled an 11 in there, but I'll
Like
take
how
my
you
first
called
one.
in our names in the order of initiative.
Yeah, right.
So go ahead and Malcolm, you were first.
Okay. Is there any way I can have like my torch on my back so I can still use my shield, or do I have to be holding it?
Oh, the torch?
Yeah.
It will not work as well as it was doing now if you try to put it on your back.
Okay. I'll just hold it.
Okay. So you're just gonna hold it in one hand then, and okay.
I have the light cantrip if that helps at all.
So as you're kind of trying to approach it,
Okay.
No,
I
not at all.
need you to make a reflex save.
Oh my god, what the fuck are we fighting?
9.
Yeah. So you're kind of rushing it and approaching, and your foot slips on the slime, and you just fall straight back, and the torch kind of sputters for a second,
No.
and let's see if it goes out.
Oh no.
Oh no. You might be helpful now.
It
Oh,
does.
thanks.
Wow. It does not go out.
Oh, okay.
No,
No,
I have
I
dark vision.
we don't need you.
I got dank vision.
So do I.
Oh my god.
So you are now on the ground prone.
Awesome. Guys, best friend.
Speaking of best friends, Xander, it is now your turn.
I mean, we're long range, so we're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna use Ray of Frost on the one closest to Malgrim.
Sure, go for it.
Let's see.
So go ahead and make your attack.
Let's see.
What'd you get?
6. So, yeah. 6 plus 4 is 13.
That's 9.
Or 9. 9 plus 4 is 13.
You hit.
Alright.
Go ahead and roll damage.
3.
All right. Yeah, you kind of hit the thing in the side, and a couple of the tentacles freeze and just break off and kind of hit the ground. And it just kind of lets out a very loud shriek as you hit it. And it kind of just starts sputtering more slime as it kind of just very quickly starts like roaming around. So then after Xander is Murph.
Alright, so I'm gonna get into range, and I'm gonna load my hand crossbow.
Okay.
Make
sure
sure it's
loaded.
loaded this time. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go for a hit. I got a, let's see, that is a 22.
Yes.
Okay, good. And let's roll this. I gotta re-roll that. Because I kept rolling the 4.
Oh.
Yeah. That's 6.
Okay. Yeah. You shoot it kind of right in the mouth, and it just kind of shrieks. Slime kind of erupts out of its mouth as it just kind of falls in its own puddle.
Man, that feed is so good.
So then after Murph, we have actually it's the other creature, and it starts kind of just approaching Xander, or not Xander, sorry, Malgrim.
No.
And it makes an attack.
Sorry, bud.
So let's see. Let's see. Well, I believe a 10 misses.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's like trying to just grab anything it can with its tentacles and just kind of can't do it. You're kind of trying to fight it off.
No.
Sibo, it is now your turn.
Alright, I'll go ahead. I'll pick up my spear, and then I'm probably like 20 feet away from him, right? At least.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'll go ahead and I'll just sort of stab my spear into one of them.
What's the reach on it?
20 feet.
20
Damn.
feet.
20
yeah,
feet?
for some reason.
Wait.
I'll
Oh, damn.
check that later.
I have the thing right here. Let me
For
see.
spear?
Yeah,
Is
spear.
it not if you're
It
throwing it?
says
Does it have reach?
it has brace, not reach. It says brace right here.
No, it's a two-handed one.
Two-handed brace.
Its range is 20 feet, but it's probably if you're throwing.
Oh, that's the throwing range.
That's the throw.
Oh, okay. Got
I was
it.
like, wow.
Damn.
I'm like,
Oh, okay.
It's impressive. Very
I was like, I thought you were the short guy of the group.
about a 10
Wow.
It's a 10-foot pole when you have,
So are you
20
gonna
foot spear.
kind of try to approach
Yeah.
it and stab?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'll approach it and then I'll.
I will need you to make a reflex save as well.
Oh my god, I don't want to hurt everybody.
19?
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Okay, yeah.
You
Um,
kind of
Hurt people.
you kind of stumble a little bit, but you catch your footing and you go in for the stab.
And then I'll try to stab it
Sure.
with
Oh.
a nat 20.
Confirm.
Ow.
Oh, you gotta confirm. Yeah, so
gotta-
go ahead and roll.
Oh,
Yeah,
19.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
hold
you
on.
crit.
Plus whatever.
So this is
Yeah.
I think is our first critical of the podcast. I don't we didn't have
Fun.
one last session.
Especially if I want
Whatever
spears, because I believe it's times 3.
I would say it in the equipment.
I think
It
so.
says so.
Wait, oh, okay. Give me a
Yeah.
second. It is times 3.
Times 3.
Oh,
Alright,
wow.
So, D6 plus nothing.
So I think in Pathfinder, I think you just roll and then add your. I think you just multiply the die number by.
Okay,
I
and
think.
then it's adding my strength mod, or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is 11 damage.
Yeah, you
Is
just.
your strength negative?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, you just take it and you just kind of shish kebab it. And it just sputters, and you kind of shake the spear, and it just kind of flings off, hits a wall, and the slime trail just kind of goes straight down as it just slides down the wall. But yeah, you have defeated the crawlers.
Can I collect some of the slime?
Sure.
It's basically
Can I
all
stand
How
up?
many vials do you have, by the way? Like empty ones.
3. Now I have 2 or 1 because I have.
Yeah, you got some zombie goop, and now you're getting some slime.
Can I get up and brush the slime off?
Yeah, it's a little tricky, but you try to get most of it off.
Alright, now we're
What kind
going
of
to
creatures were these?
cautiously
Can I just
walk
call them, like,
across
rats
the
or
hall.
something?
Thank
They
God I got
were not
+9
rats.
to
Okay, well,
reflex.
They were
I
worms.
shouldn't be
Do
a
you want
progress
to
on
make
that one.
is nature knowledge nature? You
Yeah,
have that?
That's a thing.
I have knowledge nature.
I have knowledge geography. Oh wait, do I have knowledge? I do have
+3 in
knowledge
it.
nature.
+3? Okay. Anyone
Got
with
a lot
knowledge
of-
nature can make a check to see what these were.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
20.
Okay,
Seven.
I
do
got
I need
26.
to?
I got a 7.
I crit, so I
Yeah.
got 26.
Yeah, you guys can figure this out. These are known as slime crawlers, and these were the larval ones.
Alright.
Yeah, these ones were
That's the
not.
clicking.
Yeah, these ones are not the adults.
That sounds like fun.
I'm gonna continue moving.
Huh?
I'm gonna continue moving.
Cautiously.
All right, great. All right, so you're gonna go down the stairwell then?
Yep.
Okay. So down here was a very small barracks area. There is a bed that is pretty much upside down at this point due to the slant.
Yeah. Right.
A few other bedrolls kind of just spread around the place. There is a chest that's also been kind of thrown. It's like kind of leaning against one of the, I guess, the corners. I know we're in a circular building, so it's just like up against one of the edges of the room. There don't appear to be any hostile enemies in here or anything like that, though. Seems pretty empty for the most part.
Do I remember anything important being in that chest?
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Straight intelligence?
Yep.
Awesome. 5.
Yeah, you don't recall.
Awesome. Can I go to the chest?
Sure.
Open the chest.
It is locked.
Can I break the chest?
You want to break the whole thing?
I mean, just like the top of it. Like,
There's
Right,
a
like,
lock.
break the hinges
I
off or
was gonna
something?
say- yeah, you could try that. It's been down here a little bit, so it's kind of rusted. So
so
it'll
I
be
use
a
like the
strength.
bottom of my flail or something?
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah, that'll just be a strength check then.
12.
Okay, yeah. It takes you a few tries, kind of like the door,
Yeah.
but you just and there goes one, and then and the other hinge kind of flies off. As you kind of like pull it a little bit up, a smell kind of hits you. It's not like the beast that you guys saw.
Good.
It just smells like really kind of gross goblin sweat.
Hmm.
You have discovered a box of laundry.
Awesome.
Oh, sweet.
And then go ahead and make a perception
Box
check
of
for me.
laundry?
Yeah, it was a barracks.
8. No. 7.
So you kind of like go through a little bit, and you find you find something in one of the pockets, and it's a little pearl. It's worth about 10 gold.
Damn. Can I see it? Wait, what did you get? A 7?
Yes.
Can I go through it and see if I find anything else?
Yeah, so you also go through the smelly goblin chest and make a perception check for me.
I'm going
See?
to look through this
Nobody
stanky
can
goblin
use their eyes
chest.
apparently.
No.
I got a 20 unnatural.
Damn, I need a
Okay.
new die. I need a new die. I give up.
Yeah, you kind of look. You don't really find anything else that's worth any like monetary value. You just find a lot of old goblin laundry.
Stanky goblin laundry.
Pretty much.
Alright.
So yeah.
I think we're done with this section of the
Yep.
interesting tower.
I'm literally just gonna leave all of these out.
Yeah.
Is there
While
anything
we're
under the bed?
As you kind of lift it up, not really. It looks like the bed's structural support's been kind of cracked from the impact of hitting this wall.
Okay.
So, but other than that, no.
while we're stopped, I'm gonna go ahead and cast light on his torch, just in case it goes and falls down in the water.
Never know when it's gonna go out. So
Yeah.
If you want, you could even like you could blow the fire out and just put it where the fire would go.
I agree.
I guess.
You're right. It's not green.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have it on like the bottom of it.
Oh sure. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
just
you
like,
got
got like a Darth Maul thing going.
Right.
Like this magic on this?
yeah. So you produce this
I
ball of
taught him
light. You
what
kind of just
magic
like
was.
stick it on the bottom.
I just kind of like look at it in confusion and just like.
Yeah. He's like, what?
Just in case.
I kind of kneel down on the amalgam and I'm like, this is what magic is.
I thought in magic.
He's had a couple lessons, but some things
Yeah.
are still kind of confusing to him.
I'm not a good teacher. I know.
See, I
So
don't know that you taught him anything. We were separated when you told him that.
Oh, that's right. Well, I did it more than once, but yeah, you're right.
okay, so yeah, so that appears to be kind of down here.
Continue.
Okay, You have actually reached the entry chamber to this place. You notice the door that you remember walking through has been kind of...
Charging through.
It was a pull door from the outside, but now it's become a push door.
Oh, nice.
And,
Oh no!
and this mound of dirt just kind of covers the bottom part where the slant is.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that there is the trap door in the back. It was kind of covered by some stuff, but now all the stuff's hit the bottom of this place now. It is pretty visible.
Okay.
And this is where you remember they stored a lot of the important things is down there.
I like the sound of that.
Yes.
So, what would you like to do? There's a couple of similar torch-like structures that you know where you got your torch from now, and they've been kind of snapped in half from impact of
Wonder if I threw those too.
But yeah, you remember that downstairs was also where the anointings took place.
Okay.
It was a very kind of sacred area down there.
I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna open the door and go down.
All right. Yeah. So as you guys kind of go down there, I'd like everybody to make a perception check if you guys are kind of going down the stairs.
9.
26.
3.
3. Okay.
Oh my god.
My perception
I
is
can't make
incredibly good.
What color? Black, green, purple, or pink?
Black.
All right. Who rolled the highest? All right. What did you roll?
26.
Damn it.
Yeah, you hear more skittering, but this skittering is
I
different.
got a 13.
Oh boy.
Guys,
Was it heavy?
guys,
Sorry,
there's
we have a
some
ranger.
there's some different skittering going on here.
Like what?
Well, it's not. It's broken up. It sounds like there might be whatever the adult may be down there.
Oh.
That's what I'm assuming. I'm just hoping. I'm
Down
just
there?
assuming the
Wait.
worst.
Can I
Fingers crossed.
throw something and like what? How?
With a
What?
torch.
Down there? Do you mean like it's like an empty space or like?
As you guys are going down the stairs, he hears something, but you don't know what it is.
Interesting.
Is anyone still up top? Or are we all down already?
You guys are making your way down the stairs.
As he goes ahead and says this, I'll go ahead and load a crossbow bolt into my crossbow.
And make sure it's loaded, right?
I
is
will
loaded.
also
That is
put a
why I
crossbow
am-
bolt into my hand crossbow.
Yeah, that is why I'm mentioning it.
Okay, so all the crossbows have been loaded.
Correct.
All right.
That, or so we think.
One of the inside jokes that you folks kind of missed out on. Sibo during the first session thought he had loaded a crossbow, and then after missing his attack roll, realized that it was empty.
Yeah. It was,
And then
yeah,
his mouth.
reflavored nat 1 so that didn't completely screw us over.
Yeah, Bennigan was the one holding the bolt that he wanted to put in, and then never told Bennigan that he was putting it in. So, yeah. So down here, everyone make another perception check for me. You guys kind of get down.
3.
I didn't even make it.
Okay, I got a
Fours.
12, guys. I got a
14.
12.
Okay.
3.
10.
So I believe Xander rolled the highest with the 14.
My dice are shit right now.
Mine are doing okay.
Shut up.
Well, that's good.
I gotta make it some kind of challenge, right?
Yeah.
So, Xander,
Oh my God.
you definitely recognize this kind of skittering. This is spider skittering. This is the regular stuff.
Frank.
I want to die.
Is your character arachnophobic as well?
No.
Okay.
She's fine.
On the feet, arachnophobic.
Don't
Take
describe
notes.
them. Please don't describe them.
So,
Description.
as you guys kind of look out, Xander, you notice there are 3 figures roughly around the size of you guys. And it's kind of weird. These spiders look really weird. They're not normal spiders at all.
Well, that's good.
Oh,
They have the tentacles kind of similar to the ones up there, just kind of popping out of the sides of their bodies. And some of their legs are kind of like halved. That's why the skipping kind of was going on with that. They look almost like infected.
Can I roll like a knowledge nature check?
Sure.
13.
Okay.
I'll try for it as well.
Sure.
I got a
Oh my
23.
God.
Okay, so between
I'm
the
a
two
skill
of you,
monkey.
you guys have figured out that the slime crawlers from upstairs, they might have gotten in a skirmish with the spiders, and the spiders got bit or something, because that is not how those spiders are supposed to look. They look really weird. There's some slime kind of popping out, but it's not as much. Like, it doesn't cover the floor like it did with the crawlers upstairs. but they just look really weird and messed up. And then let's see. That is not going to work. Okay. They don't appear to notice you guys right away.
Surprise round.
Now, Malgrim, as you look through the chamber, you notice that this place is very familiar to you. You notice a stone staircase kind of up to it's not quite an altar, but it's like a ceremonial kind of stonework that was made. And this is where you were anointed. As you weren't quite a war chief, but you were like right on the cusp. You're like in the position right below the war chief. So this is where you were anointed, and you kind of just like feel your face a little bit with the paint that's still there. This is where it happened. You notice that there are a few goblin skeletons down here. Some of them are kind of missing their arms at this point. But like you don't really recognize the corpses like you did with Bogg upstairs. But they kind of help you just remember this chamber was filled when you were getting your anointing, and there was a lot of cheering, and it was just a really proud moment for you. And as you look at it now, it almost looks desecrated. There's like webs all over the place. Some of the stone's been kind of chipped away from age, and it looks very just melancholy to you now.
Single tear.
Single tear.
I wipe the tear. And I say, no, friend.
As you hold his hand?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're having some best friend bonding now.
I'm noting that.
Best friend bonding time?
Amazing.
Best friend bonding points.
Right.
So what would you guys like to do?
I can see the spiders.
Oh yeah, as Xander points them out to you and kind of like wipes the tear from your face, you can see them.
How far away?
They're about 30 feet away, and it looks like they're kind of preying on another decomposed goblin corpse that was down here.
Right, I'm gonna full on charge at them with my flail.
All right, so you're just kind of running at them.
Yep.
All right, go ahead and make your attack.
16.
Yep, that'll hit.
7 damage.
Okay, that's with your flail?
Yeah.
You kind of crush the back right side of it, and 2 of its legs just collapse and break. And you see some of that slime just kind of leak out where the openings were. Are you going for your shield as well, or are you still holding the torch?
So, can I attack with a torch?
It would be very hard.
Okay.
And you'd probably risk breaking it. With that, though, they are alarmed. They kind of shriek, and the skittering is more frantic now. I'd like everybody to make initiative checks and we start combat.
Okay, I had a 13 on the die. Not the nat one. No, I got a total of 17.
I got the nat one though.
Okay, Malgrim?
22.
Again.
Yep.
Xander?
6, 8.
8?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, 8. Murph?
17.
17. Sibo?
2.
Alright. And Davina?
16.
16. Alright, great. Malgrim, you're back at the top of the order. These things look frightened now.
Okay.
You could definitely caught them off guard.
Okay. I'm gonna throw the torch on the ground.
Sure.
And instead of using my move action, I'm gonna pull my shield.
Sure.
And then, can I attack with my shield as well and my flail? Since it's just a move action to pull it out.
Yeah. I'll let you make the action for that then.
Alright, I'm gonna do my shield first.
Okay.
For 12. No, 9. That's a 6. Then 9.
Okay, so your shield kind of misses as it kind of like it's skittering very unpredictably in front of you as you kind of just crush its backside. It's kind of freaking out.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna flail it for 22.
That will hit.
Yeah. 11 damage.
All right. The second time you hit the flail, you hit it right dead center in the back, and the whole thing just splats out. The tentacle that was on the side kind of just flails off, wiggles, slams into a wall, and the slime just kind of just drips as the blood kind of mixes in.
I'm gonna give out a loud war cry.
All right. It echoes throughout the whole place.
Is it dead?
Oh yeah.
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 Cool.
The tentacle slumps over kind of next to it and it dies.
Cool.
Next in the order is Murph.
Alright, I'm going for a crossbow shot.
Okay.
I'd say 19.
Yep.
And that is 7 damage.
All right. You kind of like pop it right in like kind of like where near its head, and you see the blood kind of spurt out where the arrow hit. This one's got a few tentacles, and they kind of just freak out near the back of the thing. They just kind of wiggle around. It looks really weird. Okay, then after that is Davina.
Really?
You rolled a 16?
Yeah, everyone else rolled pretty bad.
They rolled a 7 in case anyone was
How
wondering.
close
Better than my two.
Are they?
how close are Milgram and Murph?
Well, Murph is kind of far because he had to take a shot from at least 30 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Malgrim is full on in these guys.
Literally.
Just like he looks very angry.
Clearly desecrated.
Okay,
Yeah.
how
Even-
far
even
am
with the
I
mask
from
on.
them?
Right.
You are roughly about 25 feet away, I'd say.
Alright, God, I can't. What is my. And I'm gonna go up to it and hit it with my quarterstaff.
Alright, go for it.
Hey.
What do I add to that?
No, you didn't write it down.
It's
Strength.
your BAB plus your strength, so I believe
3.
it's just your strength for you. So 3.
Oh, is
What
it?
did I roll?
14.
Okay, so yeah, 17.
Alright, that will hit.
Okay.
Are you hitting the one that Murph shot?
Well, the other one's dead.
There's 3 of them.
Oh my god! Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the one that's already been hit.
Okay, just checking.
God damn it. 3.
3 damage? Okay.
And
So,
I'm
yeah.
gonna run.
So
Are you sure?
so you kind of like hit it with a solid thwack as it just kind of cracks inside, and you see its body kind of compact a little bit from the impact. And
Is
it-
there anything I can hide behind?
besides Malgrim, probably not.
Can I hide behind?
So as you start moving away, the spider kind of spins around really quick and goes to bite you.
Oh, that's fine. I have poison resistance.
Well, it's great because it rolled a nat 1.
Oh, perfect.
So you start running and you kind of look around, you see it snap right behind you, and you just kind of duck right behind them.
Thanks, bud.
So then after that we have, let's see, Xander.
Alright. I'm gonna do a ray of frost and aim for the hole you made with your.
Okay, great. So yeah, you guys are just kind of all kind of
Yeah.
going up on. Okay, sure.
A natural 20.
Okay,
Confirmed.
go ahead and roll.
Oh.
What was it?
1.
Oh, that's both sides of the spectrum,
Right.
folks.
That's so upsetting.
Well, you still hit him. It's not a crit. So go ahead and roll your damage.
I hate that rule.
Gotta re-roll that. Gotta re-roll it again. I know,
is
it's
it
upsetting.
3?
3.
Man, why couldn't they have made a 3-sided die?
Right.
Probably because it was really confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you aim right for the hole, and it actually freezes the arrow. And you see some crystals kind of poke out,
Eee.
and more slime and blood just kind of drip down
Ew.
as you kind of push the tissue inside out.
Nice.
Uh,
Go, best friend.
Best friend bonding time! The spider that was coming after you is actually going to try to scuttle behind him, and it's going to go to bite you again.
It doesn't like you.
I wonder why.
What's your armor?
14.
Well, it got a 16. It's no hit.
Ooh. 9 damage.
So you're going to go ahead and take 3 damage, and then I need you to make a fortitude save.
Ooh.
That's okay. That's okay, because I've got... Wait, do I... Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me take this damage first. $19.
Okay, so you kind of get bit in like one of your arms as it kind of curves around and snaps at your arm, and as the bite kind of goes through, you feel like a weird shock kind of go through your body as the venom dripping from its fangs just kind of goes through, but you're able to kind of shake it off.
Gotta cut off the arm.
Is it poison at all?
It was poison, yeah.
Okay. Well, I also have a resistance to it, so...
Okay, well you didn't take any poison damage.
I know.
So
I'm
just
just saying in advance. Just
You know, I'm just letting you know. Because some things will do poison damage.
Yeah.
This one does not. It just kind of has an effect.
Okay.
So then after that, the one is obviously going to go for you.
Yep.
Because you kind of just killed its brother.
I'm gonna kill it too. That's fine.
It rolled an 8.
Oh.
So that will not work. Now we're back at... Okay, so we're at the bottom of the order with Sibo?
Yep.
Alright.
Alright. So I'll go ahead. What's the one that got shot a bunch and then got frozen?
It does not look very good.
Does not look very good.
No.
I'll
It is
go ahead.
on top of me.
I will go ahead and
My
try
arm
to shoot
is
it
in
off.
its mouth.
I'll go and try to shoot it off of her.
All right, so you got your crossbow.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, go for it.
Is it loaded?
It is loaded.
Oh, perfect.
And should hit with a 21.
Yes.
21.
Stop.
The memes are evolving.
That is
Get a heavy?
Yeah.
I couldn't afford that.
You were
If
also
you
in the
didn't-
mines,
maybe if
so
you
you
didn't
Minus
spend it
3.
all on the bedroll. I know.
7 plus dex is 8.
8 damage?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you shoot it right in the face. As it kind of almost looks like it's going to go for another bite attack against Davina. You just shoot it right through the side. It kind of goes through one and out the other. And it just kind of slumps right in front of you in as the venom and blood kind of mix right in front.
Just like spray down there.
So then we're back at the top of the order of Malgrim.
Woo, shield. Still
All right,
the
go
one
for
that
it.
hit me. The only one that's left alive. Oh, that's a crit.
Damn.
Ooh!
No.
Another 9.
Ah.
Just wrong. Still hit though.
All right, yeah, you did it.
7 damage with the shield.
Yep.
And then my flail.
Damn.
23.
Yep.
Another 11 damage.
Jake just beat the shit out of the spider.
You give him the good old 1-2.
It's his Spire. Of course.
You kind of like lock eyes with it
really
in combat,
upset.
all like 10 of them it has, and you kind of bash it in the face and crush its head directly in the ground, and it just splat. The audible just as just and everything about it just kind of shudders and just drops. You have successfully killed the spiders.
Can I collect some
And in this
of
moment,
the
I kinda, like, kneel
poison
over and I
from
go,
the one that bit me?
Go ahead and make a knowledge nature check for me, as it is a little bit tricky to handle poison.
Never would have thought.
13? Nope. Yes. Nope. Yes.
Okay, yeah, it takes you a little bit, maybe.
I think it's a 13.
It takes you a little bit, but you manage to kind of get the vial in the right place and press on the right part of the muscle in the mouth, and the glands kind of shoot out the venom into a vial for you. And if you ever need to know what that poison does, let me know.
Taste it.
That's why I'm
Don't taste it.
collecting all of it so I can test it later.
You have poison
Don't
resistance.
drink it though.
Well, no, shh. I'm a chemist. I know this.
This is what Jeffrey's were.
Oh my god.
Once Jeffrey joins, our necromancer has some plans. Once he's able to raise dead.
Say Jeff.
Oh, did
You're
you
right.
die? That's
Not
upsetting.
Jeff.
I just got
Say
my
Jeff.
Oh.
Oh, this is gonna be.
That's why when you said Jeff, I was like,
Yeah,
So yeah, so as you finish them off, you kind of take a breather and you kind of get to look around the room a bit more. You recall that behind the main section where the anointings are, there's like a little chamber, there's kind of a slit in the wall, and that's where the resources are kind of stocked back there.
I'm gonna go with it.
But yeah, you've successfully driven out the invaders to this place.
Good. I'm gonna like take the torch and like stab it in the corpse of the spider.
Alright, so you're keeping the room lit.
Yep.
Okay, great. Alright, so being efficient.
Yep.
Yeah, so you kind of like move the corpse to a good spot where the light will hit, and you just kind of and some more slime and blood just kind of spurt out a little bit.
That's cool.
The room is now kind of like lit. You don't have to hold the torch as much now.
Awesome.
So what would you guys like to do?
Is there anything else important in this room we're in?
Not that you notice. You just remember where the resources are stocked.
I'm gonna go there then.
Okay. So it's a little tricky because it's on kind of a slant and it's kind of hard to keep your footing.
Yeah.
But you do eventually kind of slide your way through that area. And back there is a chest that you remembered.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit deteriorated, but it looks like it's intact.
Okay. Is it unlocked or locked?
It's locked.
I'm gonna break it off.
Okay, make a strength check for me.
14.
Okay, yeah. You just kind of whack the front of it and it just kind of pops.
Wow. Great save.
Yeah. So inside, when you were being anointed, it was kind of back here that you kind of have another flash of memory.
Okay.
You remember the war chief coming back here, and when he was kind of grabbing some other things for you as you're kind of getting this new prestige status in the Legion, you remember everything shaking, and you remember just feeling this large impact, as though when you were down here the earth itself was shifting, and you remember kind of running back up the spire to the fort that you were at, and you just remember this big flash of white light, and that's eventually where you woke up. So now back here, you actually see another corpse.
Oh no!
This one wasn't it wasn't like a servant like Boggett or any of the ones that were sitting in the audience at this point. This is your war chief.
Oh my god!
He's sitting kind of in the back corner. The body kind of maybe just drifted when the place went in, but he's just kind of sitting there. His armor is all rusted. You remember it being gleaming and just pristine perfect when he was fighting, and it's just rusted and just kind of broken in parts. The leather work on some of his gear it looks like it's been ripped, and it looks like a mess. It doesn't look anywhere like the high status that you once saw him. And as you kind of like open the chest, you kind of see what you were kind of going to be given as you were given this status. You see a shield in there, and it is incredibly well crafted. It's got this kind of blood red trim, which is very common amongst the gear that you remember the Legion. In fact, some of your pauldrons even have it, with just spikes inlaid in a really cool just pattern. Kind of just goes around. It actually kind of looks like an X with like a really cool spiral border kind of going around it. You also notice that there are some bottles with this kind of red, really kind of like clearish red fluid inside. There's 4 of them. And you notice that this, along with the shield, there's also this very well crafted spear with this blood red ribbon just kind of flowing around it. And the insignia of your Legion, which was basically a skull with a spine vertebra kind of going through the top and through the bottom. Just kind of crafted on as like a badge on the near the tip. You also notice that there is, oddly enough, looks very strangely crafted leather bag. And along kind of the bottom, there's a lot of money in here.
Ever.
There are 5 pearls that look kind of similar to the one that you found in the goblin box at the party. There is a beautiful jade stone. There's also a garnet of it's like a violent garnet stone. It's like a purplish red. It kind of just glimmers in the torchlight from like kind of beyond. You also kind of notice, you also remember that in addition to like things that they'd keep back here, like money and resources, you also remember that they would keep things that would kind of get stolen or taken from people they killed. As, kind of traditional in the war.
Oh, yeah.
You notice kind of in the corner, it's like a bunch of like weird bottles and just weird reagent type things in the back, and they're kind of just jumbled around in a big pile. You're not really sure what they're for. And you also find roughly about like 808 gold pieces kind of sitting at the bottom, just kind of glimmering.
Okay.
Pocket
So that's
I'm sorry, what?
so that's what you find.
Did you say 808?
Yes.
I think you did.
Fuck. Can I have those vials?
Yeah, you can have those.
So as you kind of look at them, where Malcolm was just like, I don't know what this is. Like,
set them aside.
Yeah.
I'm just focused on.
This is
You're just like, nope.
this is an alchemist lab. This is something you remember having with your mentor, but you couldn't really take one with you because it was his.
Now I got 4.
You found one. So this is the lab itself. It's got like all the materials and tools and stuff. But yeah. So the rest of you, do you guys kind of come back and see everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
So what did I get?
That's the alchemist lab. So it's an item in there. I can explain it to you later.
I thought you said there was 4 vials of stuff. I'm
Oh,
so
all
confused.
those vials. Okay, yeah, the bottles of like the clearish red liquid. Yeah, they appear to be potions of some kind.
Does it?
Do I know what kind or no?
Not off the top of your head.
Okay.
Or the shield and spear? Do they give any other bonuses, or is it?
They are
just
considered masterwork.
Well, if any of you die, I'm pouring it down your throat.
That's a great way of looking at that.
No consent.
I kind of look
This is not a tea kind of day.
I want to look around the room and see if there's kind of like anything that would be like of usage of me. You know, like seeing that like these are people that have like killed other races and taken things that they don't exactly know. Maybe like a spell book, scrolls. You know.
Yeah. I also
Something
wanna
along
look
those
around to see if
lines.
there's any more alchemy stuff here.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Me too.
Anyone who's actively searching.
I'll
12.
search. I got a 26.
Can I take that score instead?
I got a 26.
Okay.
Can I take the score you hit my dice with?
No.
Damn it.
No. I got a nat one, by the way.
Oh, jeez. So Murph. In Xander, you got a 12?
Was that at a 6 or a 9?
So you two kind of look around the room a little bit. You don't seem to find any like spell scrolls or books. And Malgrim, do you tell him what you're looking for at all?
Yeah.
Remember, you don't know what magic is. Your war chief sure as heck didn't either. Like, magic was not with this tribe at all, really at all. In fact, the thing she found was considered like really weird and just odd to even find on somebody. And then Murph, what were you looking for?
Just in general for anything like tools or anything sort.
You don't find any tools of anything, but you do kind of notice that there are some like carvings built in the wall.
Okay.
They're kind of similar to the ones you found in the temple.
Oh.
And they are written in Goblin.
I'm gonna direct him over to these carvings after he's done kind of getting his stuff.
Okay. So Malgrim, you kind of look, and it's got all of the names of the war chiefs of the Legion kind of just chiseled in.
Okay.
And you remember, yours was down there too. You remember the one actually this Legion was named after. Grood, the Gruud, Grood Skullspine.
Okay.
He's the one who also put the fort up that you woke up in.
Okay.
He was the head war chief of the Legion. So after finding all of this stuff, what would you guys like to do?
Did I find anything?
You found the lab, and you found the bottle.
There was nothing else.
Nope.
I had a 12.
You're acting like you're supposed to get something else. I didn't get anything.
No, I'm just making sure
Same.
if there's like any
I mean-
spells or anything. Well, not spells, but
Really, you got
Formula
something
is
rare
just
considered to these people, and you're like,
Just
I think I need
saying.
something else. And I'm like,
you didn't even ask. That's why I was
I got a
confused.
26, and I found that, so I'm not going to
Fair enough,
complain
fair
about
enough,
it.
fair
So,
So would you like to know what that lab does?
Yes, because I didn't read it.
Okay, so this thing weighs about 40 pounds.
God damn.
But this is it's a nice lab. It looks like not many things were broken in this, surprisingly, considering the rest of the place. This will give you a +2 bonus on alchemy checks, craft alchemy, while using it. It has no bearing on the costs related to the skill, so like you might still need to buy components. It might have a lot of them.
Okay.
Without the lab, you're able to use the skill, but you get the +2 if you use the lab. So you kind of have to set it up somewhere when you want to use it.
Okay.
But it seems portable enough. Does anyone have any other questions about this?
Was that a normal spear or was it a short spear?
It was a regular spear.
Okay.
But yeah, both of those weapons are considered masterwork.
Okay. And
As well as the shield.
fortunately, the
was the
spear
shield
is
just
two-handed.
wooden or?
It was a heavy spike shield.
Heavy spike shield. Ooh. I'm gonna toss my other ones that.
Bye.
See ya. Yeah, this one, it looks more like it suits the armor and stuff that you were wearing, which is why you were going to be given the shield. But then
Yeah.
something happened.
Right.
You're not sure exactly what.
Okay.
Is that spear two-handed?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, what would you guys like to do?
Well, glad we went here.
Is there a kitchen here?
Is there a kitchen? There is not that you've seen. You've gone through the whole place. Down here was like a ceremonial.
Well, I
chamber.
guess we should head back because I know Benning is waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have spent I'd say about 45 minutes to 50 minutes down
Yeah.
here.
You said you'd be back in about an hour.
Yeah, so
we
we
should
have 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we should leave. And go
I mean,
back.
not that Bennigan has a lot of sense of time.
Right.
In fact, he probably thinks that like an hour and a half started to come by. But yeah. Is there anything else you guys would like to do in here? No? Okay. Yeah, so you guys make your way kind of back up the stairs. You go through the top door of the roof, and just you guys have done this before, so you guys kind of go back over the side. Bennigan is very happy to see you. He's like, "What happened? What happened?" And he kind of starts smelling everybody, and he's like, "What'd you guys find?"
Spiders.
Ew.
And he kind of just like gives you a weird face, and he's like, "Hate those things."
Oh, I can't hear this.
Yeah, no, he's basically barking to.
What's that point?
You just see him make a really. You just see him make a really weird face, and he just kind of like.
Stuck in a well.
He kind of like growls and just gives like a short
It's the
bark
same?
over to
I'm just looking at
Sibo.
Doesn't the masterwork give you a bonus?
It was just a shield.
Wait, what kind of dog do you have?
The masterwork.
I thought
it's
so.
There
like-
was
I
a masterwork
thought
armor,
so.
right? It was just the spear and shield.
No, yeah, the shield is masterwork as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
Those
trying to
things.
figure out how it works with like it's a weapon.
Yeah,
and it's
mechanics.
armor,
Yeah. So let's see. That's not what I want though. We'll have to look into it a little bit more. I think it's basically masterwork armor.
Mhm.
What this is considered. Kind of. It's weird. So the armor check penalty is lessened by 1.
Mhm.
If shields have that, I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so yeah, the checks -1, and then the attacks with their +1 because masterwork.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know if masterwork weapons also give +1 at damage, but
No, it's just
just the attack. Okay. All right, so now that you guys have kind of cleared and you guys have gone through this spire of the Legion of Skullspine, what would you guys like to do?
I'll go ahead and look at the sky again.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, sure. What are you looking for exactly?
Birds.
Birds? Okay, there are now more birds. It's been a little while, and it's the smoke's kind of cleared out a bit more.
All right. Are they flying any specific direction?
Not really.
Okay.
Kind of going all over the place.
All right.
Looks like a couple that were fighting.
Okay. Oh,
No.
I got nothing.
I guess I'm gonna try to survey the land a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
All
want
right,
to
so
see
go
if
ahead
I
and
can
make
see any.
a survival check.
It'd be okay. I got 16.
Okay, so what exactly are you looking for?
Just any like thing out of the ordinary, like structures or something that kind of pops out.
Okay, so as you kind of start looking around and everything like that, you kind of notice that. Let's see, where are we at? So you do notice that there appears to be some kind of civilization near where the mountain range kind of starts.
I'm gonna point that out to everybody. I see some sort of almost like a village or something along the mountain range.
I'll look at the map again. Okay.
Yeah, it is still a black puddle.
Well, it's a lead.
Okay.
Something.
Do you guys want to start heading towards that way?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So Bennigan's really happy because he hasn't gotten to like really move around much. So he kind of starts just like running kind of quick. And the rest of you guys kind of just follow. Okay. So I'd like all of you guys to make a perception check for me.
19.
17.
3.
8.
8? Okay. Bennigan would also be able to make one at this point.
That is true. He won't do much better.
Do you need different dice?
We literally have all like picked new dice too.
Yeah, like
Yikes.
I've gone through like 3 steps.
I've rolled every one of my d20s.
He gets a +5, so 8, I think.
Okay. So who rolled the highest?
8.
You did.
What was your total?
19.
Okay. So you start to kind of smell a scent of death again.
Oh my god.
boy.
It's not as strong as that beast for sure. You kind of look over at you kind of still see Lydrenn from a distance, and it looks like along the ground there's like this black terrain kind of moving out from it.
Oh.
It doesn't appear to be destroying the city or the town any further, because it kind of ruins at this point anyway.
Right.
But you do notice that there are several figures moving around, shambling.
I smell death and I see things over there.
It looks very similar to Dren, Evelyn's husband, when you
I think they're
walk out the
zombies.
forest.
That's not good.
It looks like there's about 7 of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
We can take
I'll go ahead and load my crossbow.
I'm going to also.
All right, crossbow load check,
Yep.
done. They are probably about 600 feet out. Like they're pretty far. They look like they're walking from Lydrenn.
Well, okay. Well, my range is 30 feet, so
If I throw you.
mid-air crossbow shot.
Yeah. Do like one of those dives. Just like, so what you guys like to do?
You guys want to try to stop these things, or do you just want to keep heading where we're going?
I want to kill him.
I mean, I don't think they're
Okay, then. Let's go, then.
I hear Malgrim say that and just shake my head and say shit as I follow.
Hey, you're just like, oh god, why?
These 7 corpses.
You're right. They're about to be
No,
7
apparently.
re-dead
7
corpses.
permanently dead
Yeah.
corpses.
In my mind, Malgrim can do no wrong.
I'm lawful neutral.
Best buddy bonding time, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So, are you guys trying to like approach them? Okay. So you kind of start moving towards them. Are you guys trying to be stealthy about it?
I am.
You're just running.
I am.
I'll be stealthy about it.
Yeah, I want to be stealthy.
I'm sticking along, the back.
So,
just moseying.
so are you and Malgrim just like running towards them?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Sibo
that's
and
what I
Ben
have to
again,
do.
how about you?
We're gonna try to go stealthily.
Okay, so there's half of you that are trying to kind of go stealthily. It looks like there's some of the rocks from the mountains are kind of like, they kind of look like they've been kind of scattered throughout. So there's a couple of boulders you could try to hide behind, but there's not much else. It's pretty open land.
Okay.
So go ahead and try.
Oh, I got 22.
Okay, so you're good.
I got a 23.
Would it
Nope,
be-
I got a 25.
Would it
Okay.
be me or Bennigan that's doing the stealth check?
Bennigan is you're riding him currently.
Okay.
Hey.
21.
Hey, all right. Yeah, so you guys kind of like, you know, kind of creep in Scooby-Doo. It's like that. You just like kind of go behind the boulder, and the 3 heads just go, and kind of just pop out. And you're looking, and you see Malcolm and Xander just going for it.
Okay, am I within 30 feet of these guys?
Not quite.
Okay, could I stealth to get in within my range?
Where?
Is
there
there?
any trees
Do I
or
see
anything?
anywhere where I could get within range?
It's
with
a
stuff?
lot of open land.
Damn. Is there any
Well-
trees around us that I can like climb up and throw my bombs from the
Forests
top
are
of
kind of on
them?
the other side.
God damn it! It's just little like.
Screw it. I'm good. I don't care
Because
anymore.
you guys were heading towards the mountains pretty much. So it's kind of getting a bit...
I'm still
Add
saying
some
it.
shit.
At this
Yep.
point, I'm just worried about getting in range, so I'm just gonna.
Alright, so you're just going to creep more
Yeah,
towards them.
yeah.
Now, I will say that their attention will not be focused on you right away
Thank
concerning these two.
Okay.
Now,
They're just
Xander, I
merrily,
will
like,
also,
hand in hand.
I also state, I know it's been a week, so you might have forgotten. Your command undead
Oh, I know.
now goes up to 2 hit dice.
Okay.
Just letting you know, because that's your caster level now. So just, you know, in case you wanted to try it today, it might be better than last week.
I didn't even try it last week
Yeah.
because it
Imagine
wasn't
just
possible.
a fucking dragon.
So at some point I might, but
I have a
Okay.
quick question.
while we're running, like once we get about 30 feet, I want to hit the brakes hard.
Okay, so you're gonna stop. And you're gonna let
Yeah,
him keep
I'm
going.
not getting in there and quarterstaffing him, but I'm supporting
Yeah.
Malgrim in his,
Gotcha.
Yeah, my spear.
his forward attack.
Sure.
If I have for throw anything, does that make the range farther or no?
No.
Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna stay hidden. I'm gonna dig myself a
see.
hole in the ground.
Minecraft
So
strats.
Malgrim,
Yes.
are you doing like a war cry or something as you
Oh
charge
my
again?
god! Please do it.
Alright, what does that sound like?
You just scream skull spine.
Yeah.
Okay. So just like skull spine, just kind of running in with your weapons.
Yeah.
With yeah.
My spear. I got my spear.
Roll
Oh, you got the
intimidation.
spear out? Okay, so you're just just running in.
Yep.
I'll let you get one good stab before they notice.
Hopefully.
They noticed.
Well, like they're kind of just shambling around, and then this hobgoblin guy's just like, ah!
It turns out this is actually a human being.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh, that would suck.
Not as bad as
13.
what he just rolled.
Well, that will hit.
4 damage.
Yikes.
Okay.
You're a mess.
That also, you know, it
Just
does
kind of goes by and
damage.
scrapes the iron. Just goes right by.
Now, I will say, you said you did 3.
What?
How much damage? 4? 4? Okay. So, as you now are close to them, you notice that there is kind of a distinction between this group. There are 5 that look kind of normal. In fact, you kind of recognize some of the townsfolk.
Aww.
It's not going too great.
Aww.
2 of them appear to have these very bulbous, greenish, kind of black sacs, like on their neck and shoulders.
Gross.
And they're kind of just like wheezing as they're moving. Kind of like it's almost like all the air is kind of going in and out. You see them kind of compress and expand.
That's gross.
Ew.
I'm gonna stop.
So now they all kind of look and just go, "Ugh." And the horde just kind of turns toward you. They also see you because you're standing there.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Alright.
So roll initiative, everybody.
Yeet.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll one of my shitty dice.
16.
21.
Okay, so Malgrim.
16.
Yeah,
And
This
then
was a
Xander.
10.
that was 10.
1. Alright, Murph.
21.
Sibo.
15.
And Davina.
12.
Great, they roll a 5. So we're at the top of the work, Murph.
Alright, so the guy he hit, I want to get in the range. So 30 feet.
You want to hit the first guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
21.
Yep.
Okay. And that is 7 damage.
Alright. You hit him kind of in the neck, and this black viscous fluid just kind of spurts out. He looks kind of like he's struggling to kind of still stand a bit, but he's still up.
Okay.
After that, we have Malgrim. Woo.
Stab the one I stabbed again.
Sure.
24.
Yep.
5 damage.
How would you like to end him?
I want to shove my spear up through the bottom of his jaw, through the top of his head.
Sure. So you shish kebab his head.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And now as you kind of spin your spear around, you've got the badge, and then the skull's just like, the whole head's just like, and just the jaw's open.
Yep.
And it kind of just slides down. But yeah, no, it's there.
Yep.
Okay, great. So now we have Sibo.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and am I around 120 feet away from it or ready to move towards it?
If you move a little bit up, you'll be right around there.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
They don't really notice you.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move up and then I'll go ahead so that I'm in range and then I'll shoot my heavy crossbow.
Sure.
And get a 21.
Yep, that hits.
Right, and then I'll D8 plus 1. 4.
Okay. Yep, another one. Malgrim, you see it. A bolt whizzes past you and nails one on the shoulder. It kind of just contorts back a little bit. Its arm kind of actually spins around, similar to Dren. But it's still up. So with that, we have Davina.
Can I get within 20 feet from them?
Yeah.
Are they all together?
Yeah, they're in a big group.
I'm gonna throw a bomb
Where?
in the middle of them.
Okay, so you're not getting them in the splash, right?
Please don't.
Yeah. No,
No,
I'm
no.
getting I'm getting all the
Okay, so you're
zombie
trying to.
things
Okay,
in the splash.
so with the splash and everything, you can hit 5 of them.
Okay, is there anybody directly in the center that I can do direct hit with?
Yeah,
Okay.
one of the regular ones.
Okay.
You'll be able to hit the ones with the bulbous sacs too in the back because they're kind of in the back.
Okay, hold on. Let me just see what I add to this.
And then so yeah, you'll actually be able to hit the rest of them. With this one.
Okay, perfect.
So you're just gonna focus on one of them for the main bomb, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack. What'd you get there, friend?
Hold on. I'm not fucking throwing anything ever again.
What'd you get?
An 8.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't
Wait,
go.
hold on. What do I add to it before you
It'd be
continue?
your Dex mod plus your BAB.
Oh, then it would be
So 1
10.
plus-
So 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
10.
if that's any better. My dex is plus
It's
2.
not a touch attack, is it?
Wait.
It's it's a range attack.
Well,
Right?
Yeah, it's a range attack.
How'd you get a 10?
Because I rolled a 7 and I have
A 3
Okay.
plus
dex.
1 here, plus 2 here.
Oh.
Plus 2, okay.
Okay, I thought you rolled
Okay.
a nat 1.
So
No,
it
no, I
doesn't-
had a 7.
That's why
It
I freaked
doesn't
out.
go.
Yeah, same here.
It doesn't go where you want it to.
Dude,
You kind of you throw it and it kind of curves a little and it hits next to one of the ones at the end. So what's your splash?
It is on a direct hit, which I didn't get.
What's your splash on though? I think
I'm
it's
looking. It's equal to the splash damage from an alchemist bomb is always equal to the bomb's minimum damage.
So what's your bomb's damage?
1d6.
Plus anything? Plus 2?
No, just 1d6.
Okay, so then 1. So yeah, it kind of spurts some of the chemicals hit and it starts like singeing the side, but it doesn't seem to really do much to it. So then after Davina, we have...
Can I hide again? Wait, can I hide again?
Nope.
Damn, I'm still 20 feet from it, so it's fine.
It's their turn.
Awesome. Well, that was nice knowing you.
Well, it's just like...
So the two kind of like surround you a little bit, and then the ones with the sacks kind of start moving towards the front as well. The other ones are kind of starting to creep up. But the two that are in the front go for you. And there goes my die.
What is it?
I will not. Yeah, we're just gonna roll. Okay, so does a 13 hit?
Nope.
How about a 19?
Yup.
All right, great.
Would have hit even if
9 damage as its arm slams into your shoulder.
Jesus!
You feel, even with the armor, it feels like there's hardly anything there. As it just kind of has a big bulge of strength and just slams its fist into your pauldron.
Okay.
Please send help. Okay, so after them, it will be Xander.
Yeah, how are all of them looking?
Well, the one that was kind of hit a bit, it's still looking pretty good. The other ones are pretty much immaculate.
Alright, then I'm gonna aim towards the one that was hit. Use a ray of frost.
Go for it.
It's a 9.
Any bonuses, or is that with the
That's
bonuses?
with the bonuses.
Okay, yeah, so the ray kind of shoots and hits the ground a little bit, and some ice crystals form on the kind of the grass, but nothing crazy. So now we're back at the top of the order with Murph.
Let me go for the hurt one.
Okay.
Oh, God. Got a nat one.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, it kind of goes. It does like one of those things with like when you load a Nerf gun the wrong way. It goes like a foot, and the bolt just kind of hits the ground. So after that, we have Malgrim again.
Are either of them looking pretty bad?
Nope.
Awesome.
There's some that look kind of damaged, but the rest of them look pretty much immaculate.
I'm gonna hit the one that hit me.
Yep.
20.
Yep.
Unnatural.
I was like, oh.
Yeah. 4 damage.
Okay. Yep. Spear goes kind of through its torso, and you pull it out. More of the fluid kind of leaks. It looks a little bit like it's gonna have some trouble, but it's still up.
Okay.
With that, we go to Sibo.
Alright, so I'll go ahead and I'll load my crossbow.
Okay.
And then that's apparently it. Yeah, heavy crossbows have a full round action.
Yeah, you gotta kind of crank him and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
You
you start
hear
doing
hand
that. Yeah, you hear it click, and you're just like, oh.
From about 120 feet behind
Right.
us.
Davina. It would be your turn.
Switching that out.
Would you like to try another bomb? Okay, great. Are you aiming at the same one?
I'm still aiming in the middle, yeah.
Okay, great. Go for it. What'd you roll?
A 2 plus whatever.
So 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this time you just kind of throw it and it just breaks and the chemicals melt all the grass
I'm
around
so
it.
bad at this!
Dude, this poor grass.
You're good at
My frost, your bolt, and
Just murdering the grass.
You're
right
really
now.
good at making the bombs. It's
I'm
just
gonna
using
die.
them.
I'm gonna need to buy one of those, like, slings or something.
Probably.
Now there's
So
a
now
dead
it's the
body
zombies
on the
again.
grass. It's not good.
It's gonna go for you again.
Okay.
Yep, it'll hit.
I am so bad.
And 18?
That is 6 bombs that I
For each one?
dropped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not damage.
Yeah, they both.
I was gonna.
I was about to say, I'm like, well, for
Okay,
you
so
stats.
you're gonna take 7 from the first one
Oh,
and 9 from the second.
oh, negative 8.
What? Oh
my
God! This just
I-
got super
wait,
serious.
I thought he was-
Wow!
I thought he
Okay,
was
never mind.
worse.
Yeah.
I'll have to wait.
Yeah, no, you see Malgrim just get.
As I fall, I'm
Oh,
just
no.
gonna like reach out.
Now that tear that I wiped on his
It's the same exact tear.
So
It's
the
the
same
same
tear.
tear.
Yeah, no, that I held the tear the whole time.
Just for this moment.
And now his tear and my tear are moving together down my cheek. And I just say, I'll go.
The rest of them start spreading out.
Ugh. Oh no.
Followed by a, well, even bigger shit.
Speaking of which, it's your turn.
Alright, we're gonna try Ray of Frost again and see if I can do anything not to the grass.
On the weak one?
Yeah, the weak one.
Sure.
Oh,
Do I
21.
dare
Okay,
pour
sure.
a potion
There you go.
down
Roll
his
damage.
throat?
I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
mean-
up to you.
Can you throw it to me?
That's
Just
2.
Okay.
I'll run
You
and
kind of
give
shoot it
you.
in like kind of its face, and you see part of its
I'm
face
within
starting to
20
like
feet of you.
freeze.
Okay.
This one looks bad.
Okay.
Like yeah, it's got some problems.
I don't know
with
what
that,
this
we are
potion
back at
does.
the
Are
top
you
of the
okay
order
with
with
that?
Bert.
Alright, let's try to
I don't have
finish
a
it.
choice.
No consenting.
Alright. Yeah, that's 20. Let's see, it's a 16. So yeah.
Looking at the
what's
dice
your mod-
closer.
Plus
What's your
7.
modifier?
Plus 7.
What's your
The dice
modifier?
is my
Damage.
Oh.
Oh my god.
That's 6.
Yeah, it's dead.
Alright.
Any particular way?
Just straight through the nose hole.
Alright.
Nose
You hear
You're
cartilage.
doing it wrong.
You hear cartilage crack, and like it's
Ew.
yeah, it's just this black fluid just like leaks out.
Alright.
Okay, so with that, Murph's done. So now we're at Malgrim. Malgrim, you are dying, my friend.
I am dying.
Make a Constitution save.
Okay. 12.
I believe that means you are stable.
Aw,
So you're
man.
stable, but you're laying there
I'm laying
with
down.
all the zombies, kind of just walking over you.
Yep. That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to kill you.
Sibo.
All right, so I have a question.
Sure.
Gnomes once per day they can go like they can do like 4 different abilities. One of them is ghost sound. Would I be able to cause a distraction using that?
What kind of sound would you like to make?
It would be one that like rises. I mean, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go my like 30 feet, and then I'll go ahead, go 30 feet, and then I'll use ghost sound like 30 feet away from us, and it'll be a sound that like rises.
Like behind them?
No, like away from like the general like group. You know, like our group.
In which direction?
Let's see. So I'll go say right.
Okay, so towards the mountains then for you guys. Like towards on their right or your right?
I'll go ahead and say to where they came from.
Okay. What would you like the sound to be? You can produce as much noise as 4 normal humans per caster level.
All right.
So about 8 humans.
8
Nice.
humans.
That's a loud sound.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and have it be like stomping. You know what I
So
mean?
it sounds like people are running
yeah,
towards them.
yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, they all kind of turn and they're just like, and they're like look like they're just confused because these supposed people are not there.
All right, and then
They're just looking.
all right. Would Bennigan be able to use a dash action, or does that not work?
Well, he's moving, and it's not your movement, so I would say, yeah, like you're just trying to get over to Malgrim.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you are now where Malgrim is. Bennigan standing over him.
And then,
Slobber kind of accidentally gets on your face, but it's okay.
and then I can't do anything else.
Okay, so you have successfully gotten there.
Yay.
Okay.
First step.
Yeah, that is the first step. Now we have Davina.
Okay, can I get to
Oh wow.
Malgrim? I don't know how to say your name. I'm
Really?
sorry. And
Yeah, apparently.
try to pour a potion down his throat.
One of those light red potions we have no idea what they do. Let me just throw this
Wait,
down
what
and
did
go.
she say? If one of you goes down, it's going to...
I literally said that. I'm
fine.
going to test it on whoever is
And I
dying.
unconscious.
Potion of inflict
like,
wounds.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah,
like,
you're...
I
Yeah.
consent.
Wow.
I unconsciously
Yeah.
consent.
The oracle
consent.
is
Your
like,
hand is like...
He's like,
Yeah!
Signs consent form.
yeah, the healer's just
before I do this, can you sign this? Oh, yeah.
reminder that the healer
like a
is
stutter.
point
Becomes
blank
stable enough to
watching
sign
this.
and dies him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you just see her run over, open his mouth, and he's like...
What are you doing?
She doesn't know either.
It better not be inflict wounds, it's all I'm saying.
Oh, God!
Why would it be in the chest of my new gear, though?
Oh my god.
Because you like to throw your goblins, you like to
true.
throw
That is true.
potions.
Potion of major infliction wounds.
Oh, God.
Kills them
yes?
outright.
Please roll a
Negative
d8 for me.
Okay.
Hopefully you roll an 8. Okay.
What
Do
is
I
it?
get to add anything to it?
What is it?
It's a 2.
Okay, you heal 4 points.
-4.
No! I thought that's
Keep
what you had
dumping
0.
Keep dumping.
Yeah, I have another one. Can I?
Nope.
Ah, damn it! I have to wait.
So yeah, so you're
Jump
pouring
all
it down. So like you basically like imagine like you were a boxer and you're now in your corner, except now you're unconscious. So like you've got 2 people just like
Right.
helping you out. Okay,
CPR.
yeah, pretty much. Looks like you might need it.
Yeah.
Let's see if the zombies notice anything.
You don't like me pouring?
Yeah. It's
Hopefully they know it's that you
Well,
made us
yeah,
something.
I will say their wisdom is not good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good. Because it's a DC of 15.
Yeah, they rolled a 3. They're just like
Yeah.
they're like still like, where are those sounds coming from? They look really confused. Like, yeah, they don't look interested in you guys right now at all.
Perfect.
So now with that, Xander.
Yeah, I'm just gonna Ray of Frost because none of them are at all close enough to do what I want to do yet.
Okay.
That's a 7.
That will miss.
Yeah,
So your ray goes off, but they don't notice.
cool. Well, hey, boys, I didn't screw up that bad.
So now we're back at the top of the order with Murph.
Yeet.
Okay. Is there anyone looking bad?
No. Besides Melgrim, if you're talking about the zombies, most of them look pretty much unscathed,
They're
except for the one that
dead.
she singed the shoulder of. That's it.
Oh,
I'm gonna go
wait,
for
I
one of
did
the
do
sack
damage.
ones.
Yeah,
You're gonna hit one of the
please.
sack
Please
ones.
hit one
Yeah.
of those sack
All right,
ones.
go for it.
Right in the sack.
Yeah, 22.
Yep.
Okay, let's see the damage.
Enough.
Dang it.
Reroll.
Dang it.
Reroll.
Dang it.
There
All
you
right,
go.
there we go. There we go. That's an 8.
Okay. Yeah. You pop one of them and it goes, and this like black kind of almost moldy material just kind
Ew.
of pops out,
Mm.
and you hear it wheeze harder. Because that was where all the pressure to go, and you just see the tissue inside also kind of contract and expand, and it kind
I'm
of groans and
unconscious
just
now.
looks over.
Consents enough to bomb it. Loses
so yeah,
all
no,
4
it looks
points.
bad.
Back to negative 8.
Dang it! So that Murph's done. Malgrim.
I have
You're
a
stable.
headache.
Unconscious.
Okay,
Stable.
great. You made the unconscious check. All right, great. Sibo.
I will go ahead and cast Cure
Light wounds.
Light Wounds.
Okay, go ahead and give me a D8 plus your caster level, please.
1 plus 2 is 3.
Awesome.
3. You're -1. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Slowly but surely you were
Another
healing
one.
him.
Let's go.
All right, great. So now we're at Davina again.
I'll pour another potion down.
Roll a D8 for me.
2 again.
4 more hit points.
I'm at 3.
Hey, look,
They
you're
come
awake.
back
Hey,
and
welcome
slap
back.
You are now conscious.
Just like taking it.
Yeah, you just remember getting hit, and I just like, all these people are around me.
Oh my god.
Okay, so with that, it
All the
is the zombie horde. The one that you hit starts shambling through its buddies, and they're still kind of busy with it, but some of them do turn as well, kind of looking to see what it's doing, and it kind of just approaches. It looks like it's kind of going a little slow, though. It's not gonna quite get there yet. It's kind of moving through its other guys and kind of
It's cool.
stumbling
My
over 'em.
AC is perfectly fine.
Okay, so with that, it is Xander's turn.
I'm gonna look to use the feed command on Dead on the one with the like busted sack that he hit.
You want to use that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Busted
I will, let's see what command, I'm going to just check what command on deck
Go
is again.
for it.
This is, okay, so this is your feet.
Yeah, it's a feed.
Okay, great. So let me just double check everything. Okay, so you're going to, so you're within 30 feet of it basically.
Yeah.
And you're going to channel negative energy and just kind of see if you can control it.
All right.
Okay, so you are level 2, right?
Yes, I.
What's your charisma modifier?
+1.
Okay, so it is a 12 DC will save for this zombie to see if it decides to go with you. That is a cock die. Okay, so I got a 12. So it looks like you kind of it kind of starts like going towards you, and then it kind of just like goes back. Like it looks like you're kind of like in a fight with it.
Okay.
It doesn't quite work.
All right.
It looks like you had it. So it looks like it's possible, but it just kind of barely fought back at it.
Okay.
So that'll be your action then. So then Murph, back to you.
Take another shot.
I tried so hard, boys.
Right.
But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Thank you for
Um,
continuing that.
Yeah.
16.
Okay, what are you hitting?
The guy I hit before.
Oh, the plague one?
Yeah, I noticed he didn't. What he was doing didn't work. So I'm just
Alright,
gonna
damage?
check. Arrows work.
What did I miss?
6 damage.
Oh, he tried to use
Okay,
it,
great.
but it didn't work.
Yeah, you hit it right in the chest where like another one of
I
those sacks
can't
in the
say
beat.
anything and I can't fucking.
The thing explodes.
All right.
You hit it and, just,
I'm the worst.
and all these black fungal spores just kind of pop.
Delicious.
Oh,
And it looks just like a cloud of decay. And then it kind kind of just dissipates. So yeah, I mean it looks forceful. You feel the wind kind of hit your face.
I'm gonna back up just a little bit.
Okay. So that was your turn, and then we're at Malgrim. Malgrim, you are awake.
I am.
And standing kind of in front of one.
Oh, I'm right in front of one?
Yeah, if you're getting up.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Alright, great.
Okay, is there any way I can hit it with, like, the end of my spear and then, like, stab it somewhere?
Hang on 1 second. If I could read, that'd be great.
I don't think
So, it was kind of moving within 3 or 4 of them. So when it explodes, the force kind of hits some of its buddies.
Oh.
Yeah.
So let's see if it hits some of its friends.
Oh.
Yep, hits one of them. Hits 2. And does not hit the third one. So, the one that you're standing in front of gets just knocked from the back of this stuff.
Just brace.
And it looks bad. It looks like someone took a shotgun and just nailed it right in the stomach. Just
Oh. Is it dead?
No.
Oh.
It's still up, but you see entrails kind of hanging out with the black fluid just coming down with it.
Okay.
One of the other ones, the one in the center, also gets hit pretty bad. It looks like those things, they pack a punch when they pop. Okay, so now it's your turn. And you're standing in front. This guy does not look very good.
Okay. Am I still on the ground or am I...
You're still on the ground unless you're gonna move to get up.
Is he, like, right on top of me or do I...
He's not right on top. He's like, he'd be in front of you if you stood up. So he's like within 5 feet of you.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Okay.
Yeah, spear. 21.
Yep.
And 7.
Yep. How do you want to do that one? You got one head on your spear already.
Yeah. So you said like his like stomach.
Yeah, it's open.
Okay. I'm gonna do like kind of what I did with the last guy, but instead I'm gonna go like up through his chest cavity.
Are you just trying to make a body of the spear? Okay, great. So this time the torso, the limbs kind of fall off when you do it. But now there's fluids all over your hands now, and it smells awful.
You.
Nothing like Iker in the morning.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Okay, great.
The blood of my enemies.
So now that you're making your shish kebab, now it is
Zom kebab.
Sibo's turn.
Alright, so I'm right next to him still, right?
Yes.
Need more healing?
Oh, sure. I wouldn't be against it.
Cast, actually, hold on. Or do you want to hit harder?
Where's the name, by the way?
Probably healing right now.
Okay, got it. I'll use Cure Light Wounds.
Alright, go for it.
God.
Roll another
Maybe
one.
So, plus what?
+2, so it's a 3.
That's it.
Hey, you doubled your health.
Right? Yeah, you
Alright, great.
Melt down these dice.
So now, Davina.
How close am I to the nearest one?
About 10 feet.
Okay.
This horde has been pretty much cut in half.
Okay, so
There's 2 regular ones.
Literally.
One of them looks very bad. The other one looks perfect, like nothing's really hit it. And then there's one of those ones with the sacks on it, also fine.
Are they all like really close and?
The one with the sacks is next to the one that also hasn't been touched. The weakened one's starting to kind of move towards, though. It's the closest one. So
the weakest one is the closest?
Yeah. So basically, think of the ones in the back are like, if you wanted to hit it with a bomb, it would splash onto it. But the other one would be like about 10 feet away. So it's just out of the splash range.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna use part of my movement to get close to it.
Okay.
Hit it with my quarterstaff,
Right,
and then run away.
Well, okay. So go ahead and roll your attack. What was it?
22.
That will hit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll damage. So
Wait. Oh, never mind.
D6 plus your strength.
Yes. Yeah. 6.
Okay, how do you want to do this one?
Wait, can I make a kebab out of mine? Just kidding, I don't want to do that. Can I want to like hit it
You want to
towards
baseball
Jace.
it? Well, you want to do what?
I want to hit it towards Milgram and
You
tell
should
him to
baseball
catch
his head off, like just
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking.
You kind of spin around and just pop it, and it goes right past Malcolm's head. And the other two kind of just like the other two have heard the combat,
And I
now
run away.
they're starting to turn. Okay, so you're going back.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So I can move it 20 feet from
All right. All right, great. So as you're running back, we are at their turn. They're going to start moving towards Malcolm, because you're in the front.
Okay.
So the one of them is going to get near you.
Solid.
What's your armor?
17 currently.
All right, one's going to miss.
Eventually.
The other one is going to
eventually work. A little bit.
also miss.
Awesome.
So the one with the sacks and the regular one is right there. They're right on you.
Okay.
And in front of Sibo as well, because you're also right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, Xander.
Ray of Frost.
All right. Stick with the classics.
Right.
Nine.
Are you sure?
Like before, sticking with the classics.
Well, you know,
Dice doesn't.
He's trying, man. He's
Dice-
making a really
Dice
cool
does
ice
not
sculpture on the
well,
ground.
I also got one damage spell because I still haven't been able to
Does he hit the
Start all
same
my-
part of the grass and just makes
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You're literally just making a mound of snow right now.
Awesome.
We'll be able to use that later. Don't worry.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay. Murph, it's your turn now.
We'll shoot the sack guy. 13.
Yep.
Okay. That's another 7.
Okay. As you hit him, Malgrim, you hear the pressure building inside. It looks kind of bad, but if it takes another hit like that, it might pop.
And it's right on me.
Right in front of you. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have Malgrim. Speaking of which.
Okay. Okay. Want to kill him, but I don't want to take damage. Is there a way I can push him away from me far enough?
Let's see.
Like,
Wait, there's
throw
a
my
shield
spear at
bash
him?
action.
I don't have my shield out.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let me check Bull Rush.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause I think you could do something like that.
Either that, or there might be like a shove action you
Right.
can take.
So Bull Rush.
Combat,
That's a
maybe
combat
combat
maneuver.
maneuvers.
Yeah, that's so Bull Rush. Oh, okay. So it's part of a charge.
Okay.
So that won't work.
What about a
Yeah.
shove?
You could try shoving him.
Would I be able to like throw my spear afterwards or no? Or is that an action?
I would say that'd probably be it'd probably be one of your actions because he is trying to stay there. So I mean, you're trying to push him away.
Right.
Go ahead and give me a strength check, and I will see if he.
I got a 19.
19?
Yeah.
Which one are you pushing?
The one that's about to explode.
Oh yeah, no, he stays there. He looks stronger than he looks.
Damn.
You see the muscles tense up as he kind of like resists you.
Okay.
You
And
might
as
want
he
to
opens
run.
his mouth, you see the liquid kind of coming out of his face right in
That's
front
gross.
of you. Yeah, just a little bit.
I take some of the stuff on my hand and just like run down mine as if it's doing the same.
Sibo.
Alright. So I currently do not have my cross. Oh no, I did load my crossbow.
Yes.
But
But then you went to heal, so.
Yeah, still loaded. That's what matters. I will go ahead and shoot at a zombie.
Which one?
The one that is farther away from me, because currently
There are currently 2 left, and they are right in front of him.
right in front
Which
of him.
means that they are also pretty close to you.
Okay, God, I won't get any penalties or anything, right?
If you fire an attack at that range, you might have an opportunity to hit you.
Alright, so it's... So, like, space-wise,
You can take a
it's
5-foot step.
me... Sure.
Okay, because that'll be your move then. You're just
Yeah.
going to take a 5-foot step.
Yeah.
And then you could shoot.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, which one are you hitting?
What
one that
one are
hasn't been-
you currently engaged with?
Both.
Both?
Mhm.
And if you
Uh,
shoot the other
what-
one, it might explode and hit him.
Alright, I'll do the one that won't explode.
Alright, great. That one hasn't been touched yet, so that might be a good idea.
Okay.
Alright, go for it.
What's up with everyone rolling 5s on the dice today?
I don't know. That's an 8.
That will miss.
Alright.
Alright, with Sibo, Davina.
Oh. I want to throw my dagger.
Okay, which one?
The one that won't explode.
Great.
No.
Go ahead and roll.
I do have to move up a little because I was 20 feet away, so I want to move up 10 feet.
Okay.
Is that a dex?
Yeah.
Yeah, add your dex.
12.
That will hit.
Oh, perfect. And then it's
I believe it's D4, yeah. What'd you roll?
1.
Plus 2?
Is it?
I think
dex.
it's
Yeah, 3.
okay.
So there's 3.
Hi, Lena. I love you.
Well, she's excited about something out there. I don't know what it is. Okay. For those of you listening, that was my dog. If you can hear that, I don't know. Okay. So you hit him. The dagger actually gets embedded right in his kind of the left pectoral.
I want that back.
Well,
Not the
you did give it to him.
Now I'm down to 1 for the moment.
Speaking of which, it's their turn. The one that got stuck is actually going to start moving towards where the dagger was from.
Oh, good.
So Malgrim, if you want to take an opportunity attack.
Yes, I would.
All right.
I didn't move back.
No, I
God
won't.
damn it.
I got a 9.
That will miss.
Oh no.
And it's going to start moving. You see it kind of coming. The liquid just pouring down its chest, and it. Yeah. The other one will make an attack against Malgrim and will horribly miss.
Might want to take that 5-foot step.
That might be a good plan. So with that, it is Andrew's turn.
Oh, I'm just gonna arcane mark my pile of snow.
You're like, this combat's been lame.
I'm gonna
He's gonna build a snowman out of it.
I've got my pile of snow. I'm gonna crisscross applesauce, and I'm gonna arcane mark it with my.
So you're just gonna put a mark on it?
I'm gonna put my insignia on it.
What is your insignia?
It's just a big X, like a huge X, like really ornate, like
a treasure map X that
we're,
was fancy?
Yeah, we're talking like SpongeBob sitting doing Mrs. Puff's like whole essay, and it's a big S.
Oh yeah.
And then right between the two top bars, there's an S.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So yeah, that is perfectly embedded right in the snow pile.
Yeah.
Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Okay.
That's amazing.
All right, Murph.
I can just imagine him sitting all the way in the back, like,
non-exploding one.
Okay.
the one coming towards me. Thank you.
Oh,
crit.
And confirm.
No,
16.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
All right, cool. Let's double this. Do I also add the mod twice?
I don't think so.
Okay, so 6 plus 5, 11 damage.
Yep. Right in the forehead. And everything just tips back. All right. There's one left. It's the Mr. Explodey.
Is there a way to kill these without making them explode?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
No, do you ask that, or is that like a question for the table?
Question for the table.
Okay.
I just did not hit the sack.
Right.
Ew.
So it's my turn, right? Just Murph just went. You went, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I want to take my spear and stab it through his knee, into the ground behind him.
Does he have reach? Do you have reach with your spear? Because keep in mind, you have that 5-foot gap in front of you, remember?
Right.
Or wait.
No,
No,
I
you
didn't
could
put
take a
that-
5-foot step.
Yeah.
You can take a 5-foot
Yeah,
step.
he didn't move though, so I'm right on top of him still.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stab it, pin him to the ground, or try to at least.
Okay. Is that an attack then?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm attacking him. That's just.
Oh,
what I'm
you're trying to
doing.
just stick him.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Sick him, boy.
19.
Hit.
Yeah, that's
12.
12 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you pretty much take his leg off,
Add him to the gaba.
and then,
Ew.
Oh, it explodes.
yeah, so it's gonna...
That's fine.
Malgrim flies back.
You manage to kind of move out of the way real quick, but it explodes.
My shield's on
And
my back, and I just said,
Wait, hold on.
make a fortitude save for me as you start to accidentally inhale some of these spores.
I got a +5. 11.
Just enough.
Oh,
You start to
man.
feel something happen, and you almost kind of just vomit up the spores kind of in front, but you feel better afterwards.
That's good.
So now you've got that kind of black with the
Oh.
vomit.
Ew.
But you have killed all the zombies.
Hey.
They're gone.
all right.
I
Yes.
would like to retrieve my dagger and go through all of their pockets.
Okay. Yep. You go ahead and you
realize we
just
had a
pull
road.
it out, and it's covered in that black viscous
Gross.
fluid. And it smells awful.
Wipe it off.
Yeah, I'll just wipe it off.
Okay.
On Malgrim.
as you look at these corpses, you realize most of the clothes that they're wearing are very burned and tattered. These are definitely townsfolk from Lydrenn.
What
don't
about
have
the
anything.
bursting sack
Not
guys?
even
Those
a
also
coffee bean?
from.
They look really,
What's
really
left?
disfigured.
What's left?
But yeah.
So I mean, we probably shouldn't go back to that town. It's probably some sort of.
And as you look,
Quarantine.
speaking of Lydrenn, as you look, there's this just black.
Uh,
It looks just like wastes, rot, almost swampish around Lydrenn.
Ew.
Yeah, let's not go back.
It doesn't look like anything is currently happening. It's crazy there, but it looks like that.
Probably
Still
check
not going
that
back
out.
Like
See
10
if
levels.
there's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's wait
10 levels. Make it
7
be-
We're here
sessions.
already.
Make it BBG there.
I have 6.
So what would you guys like to do?
Well, we still
So
have
there's
that
something in the
village up
pockets?
in the mountains we can go head towards.
Yeah.
I point out my arcane mark on the snow.
You're proud. You just gesture to this pile of
Yeah.
snow, and it's got
But
this really
like
fancy.
as she's wiping the dagger off on Malgrim, it's just like
Ta-da!
yes.
I whisper to Bennigan to hop in.
What?
Oh, the snow pile? He's like, yeah! And he just takes off and is like, poof, and just skids through it.
And there goes your creation.
And he looks super happy. Like, he doesn't realize anything that just went on or anything. But, like, he's just so happy playing in the snow.
I rest one hand over the other and I just look down at what was the snow.
I come over and like place my hand on it. It's okay.
It's okay.
Thanks.
All right. So now that the snow fun time kind of ends and everything, Madigan's really happy. Starts kind of eating some of the snow.
Funny for snow.
Or the black, for that matter.
Yeah. So where would you guys like to head next?
Probably that village.
Yeah.
Sylvia was going to.
All right. So you guys are headed still to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So let me just get my notes out real quick. Okay. So yeah. So you guys start approaching the mountains. The terrain definitely looks a bit different here. Some of the dirt's just a bit more stiff from the base of the mountain structure and whatnot. As you look up, this range seems to go pretty far. Actually, it almost seems to kind of go to as far out as, like, you can kind of see, like, ocean. Far out. You guys have been kind of traveling for a little bit. And there's, like, kind of the coastline. Malgrim, I'd like you to... do you have knowledge geography by any chance?
I do.
I do.
Okay, you don't, though.
No.
Make an intelligence check for me.
Okay. 2.
Yikes.
Something seems really odd. But you don't know what.
Awesome.
About just that coastline.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know anything from my travels over?
Actually, do you guys want to know about this region that you guys are in?
I guess so.
Because, nobody really has asked yet, but I figured I'd offer the
That's
opportunity.
kind of what I was going. That's kind of what I was saying. But like, yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, so make a knowledge geography check.
Let's see. I got a 9.
16.
Okay, does anyone have knowledge history as well?
I do.
Anyone besides the two that rolled geography?
I don't.
Well, my history
have-
would be one more, so 16, 17.
Yeah, I have knowledge nature. That's about it.
16.
Okay, this could apply to that.
Okay.
I have in all of my knowledges.
10.
Okay, so as you guys are kind of looking, you kind of see Malgrim's kind of wondering what is going on with the coast. Yeah, that coast doesn't look familiar to you at all.
I figured.
At all.
Yeah.
I mean,
You remember just a lot of land.
Yeah.
You've never seen ocean here before.
he doesn't even know what it is.
So
What's that?
He knows what an ocean is. He's just never seen one in this area.
It used to be land.
Oh,
Essentially.
interesting.
So, as you guys kind of remember, Davina, you kind of bring up actually the history of this region.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
How did I know you were gonna go for another burger?
It's cold.
Want to put some
Okay.
mac and cheese on that?
No. Okay, so Davina, yeah, you kind of kind of
There's
being
a
one of
burger.
Malgrim's teachers
Hey! I might be able to teach you something useful.
of magic and sorts.
There we go.
Um,
I mean, that's what I was going for.
you start to recall the history actually of the regions.
I do or she does?
She does.
Oh.
Now, when she says regions, it kind of gives you a really weird thought.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
I'm
they're-
not from
Why
here.
there's more than one?
I'm from
Yeah, there's
very
never
far
been
away.
regions before.
Mm-hmm.
Just been one, and it's
God
been
damn,
this
how old
one.
are you?
Apparently a baby.
Don't make me laugh.
Don't pour liquid near the computer while you're laughing.
Alright.
So yeah, you don't recognize there ever being regions. Something in this place happened that was known as the fracture.
Hmm.
And this is kind of just the history of really the world as it's been known for the past few centuries.
Okay.
The fracture was an event where, essentially, according to clerics and priests and some historians, a long, long time ago, roughly, they're guessing 300, 400 years ago,
Okay.
the world was full of war and conquest, as there was just one large territory, and there were not very many resources kind of generally found.
Mm-hmm.
There were known that there were a lot of tribes of humans, goblins, orcs, etc. that were conquesting the area and basically trying to just take as much as possible.
Right.
This was kind of all happening until the goddess of magic, Nithya.
Oh.
Nythia, if you're wondering. Okay. Nithya was basically arguing with the god of war, Krym, Kyrm. Basically, Krym was very happy that this war was happening. He was getting a lot of benevolence. He was doing pretty well. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of fighting, and there was a lot of praise in his name. Well, Nithya wanted to introduce magic into the world, and Krym thought that would ruin everything going on. So they got into a battle, one that you could feel from the heavens, and Krym disarmed Nithya. She dropped her... It's this large crystal ball just filled with magical energy, and dropped it onto the world and cracked the entire territory into the regions that it's known as now. This fracture was also the cause of several other kind of things that happened here. Mm-hmm. It actually introduced monsters into the water. Oh. It wasn't really that big of a deal before. It was just a lot of fish. That's where you got like your sea serpents and krakens and that kind of thing. And it kind of just spread the water throughout the rest of the territory as well. There weren't many bodies of water in the territory until this. And also, in the process, Nithya's orb was cracked and released wild magic into the world. So, Krym basically won the fight, but Nithya still got to bring magic into the world, and that's kind of how it's been known for the past couple centuries. Oh. It's caused other things to happen that people still aren't really sure about, but they're being like traced and reported constantly. Mm-hmm. So as you kind of bring that into closer view, make an intelligence check for me, Malcolm.
20.
Ooh, I'm a good teacher.
As this settles in your mind, you start to kind of have a notion of, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
You're right.
This isn't your original time in this world. You remember a white flash, and that's about it. It could very easily have been that you were kind of knocked a few centuries ahead. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be why so many of the things that you remember are very, very old and decrepit at this point.
Yikes. Alright.
But that's also why your things have been immaculate. Mm-hmm. So, you kind of had a revelation just kind of sitting here.
Yeah, no kidding.
As you guys kind of start walking, you notice that Malgrim's kind of just still staring at the coastline, just processing all of this. And as he kind of blanks out again. Anybody want to do anything?
I'm gonna walk over and put my hand on his shoulder. I lost my snow power and just ask, you doing okay?
I'm out, right?
You don't even hear him. Yeah. You're like in one of those like long, deep thought conversations with yourself.
My eyes like turn white, and I just like
yeah, they glaze over.
Yeah.
Like you're just lost. Basically, you're kind of questioning your own existence right now.
Like I am, but I'm like. As a being, like, I am, but I'm not.
Yeah, it's really weird. Your whole being and core kind of just... You're kind of freaking out right now. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of see it, Xander, as you're looking at him.
Shit, guys.
I think we broke him.
I think he's broke. What's going on here?
Yeah, you look, and he's starting to, like, sweat. And just breathing kind of quickly and everything. Mm-hmm. He's not looking great.
Okay, who's the strongest? Let's carry him on.
Me?
You mean the one with a positive strength score?
I meant.
I think
I have a positive
unironically,
strength.
Don't even look at me. I have a 7.
I'm saying unironically, it's I think.
Yeah, Bennigan is the second strongest member of the party.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, with a strength.
I think like a 13.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah. Bennigan's the second strongest in the party.
I mean, if you want to carry him, feel free.
But yeah, you're having an existential crisis right now. in your head.
Yeah.
Because you don't know why or how you're here, but you have an idea.
I have a 40-pound crafting bench with me, so maybe that won't work.
So, is anybody...
Set up camp here?
Are you guys
I was gonna say, I agree. Maybe, like, Xander says, we should set up camp here. We should give Malgrim some time to come back to reality.
Okay.
Just like disguise the
And then
land.
I immediately pull my bedroll out of my backpack and just
Do
go
I have one of those?
and like flick it so it makes like a thwop sound at the end and just kind of lay it like on the ground.
I see what he does, and I take the only thing in my backpack, which is a
Bedroll.
bedroll, and I do the same. I'm like, this is my only belonging.
I look over and
I don't even
wink.
have a bedroll.
I show you my empty backpack.
Malgrim, go ahead and as like they're kind of like setting up and everything. Make another intelligence check.
4.
Okay. Yep. You are still thinking.
Yep.
Like it's been about an hour and he's still standing there.
Well, I'm gonna craft some stuff while he's
You're just breaking up the
I think-
reagents and everything.
well, as she's doing that, I think I kind of like I get him to like sit up
Oh,
and
no, I
back
won't.
against a tree, so he's not just like standing there in the open.
Oh, and as you like,
Ooh, I'm gonna make my
as you like
acid.
position him, his body does it, but he doesn't get shaken out of the stupor. He's still lost.
And then I just kind of I have my hand still on his shoulder. And I'm like, I hope you're okay, buddy.
Hmm.
I know, and I know you don't hear me in there, but it's gonna be
This
okay.
is so
Make
sad.
another intelligence check for me.
I hope you hear
One
my
every
voice
2
first.
minutes.
10.
You kind of hear a few words as you're thinking, but nothing kind of like shakes you back. It's weird though, because you kind of like hear a couple words, like "be okay." That's all you hear, and you're kind of just thinking.
Does he know it's
God,
my
just to
voice?
hear be
Yeah, it
okay,
sounds like
it's
Xander.
weird.
Cool. That's all that matters.
Right.
Can I roll like a heal check at all to see what's wrong with him?
You can roll medicine if you have it, or knowledge. Is it knowledge medicine or medicine check? Is there any healing check?
Yeah, there's a heal check.
His heal.
Oh, heal. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Are you trying to assess him, or are you?
Yeah, trying to like
Okay,
assess
yeah.
him, seeing what's wrong. I'll be in
Can
mind.
I do it?
You can. Yeah, you can try to help him.
Nope.
Okay, yeah. You collectively are just like, what?
I don't know.
happened? Like, we just talked about the history of this place.
No.
Nope.
I got 10.
I'm going
It's
for
10.
it.
Guys, what is wrong with
So at this point, so Malgrim, you're just sitting like on like a log or something that they put out for you, and the whole party is just collectively standing and just looking at you,
Like poking him
and
with
they're
a stick.
so confused. Literally
Please
all-
snap out of it right now and be like, what the fuck?
Because all they did, they just explained the history of this place. That's it.
And then I'm gone.
And you just stopped.
You just see his mind like.
Right.
Yeah, like
And his soul died.
you know that vine with the cat and they place the flower on his head and he just like freaks
Yeah.
out. That's him right now. And he's been like that for like an hour.
Well, at this point, we tried to heal. I think we're hitting like 2 hours here.
Yikes.
It's taking you a little bit, pushing the hour and a half mark.
I'm sorry.
So Malgrim, as you're thinking about this, your process kind of starts to get a bit redundant, and you kind of start looping, and you kind of just it's starting to settle with you a bit. You're going to make another intelligence check for you.
Come on, just give me a 1. It's a 3.
I'm a bad
And
so
I'm right
am I.
It's still looping, and it's just taking you a little bit.
Can I pull out my alchemist lab
Sure.
and go ahead and do a couple like tests on my different vials of stuff?
What are you trying to make?
I'm not trying to make anything. I'm just trying to
Like, figure
Figure
out
out.
what you have.
yeah, like anything that
Eat
they're
the
if they're
zombie
useful
blood.
for anything, if they're poisonous or anything, like what I can do with them.
So, okay. I can just list off the stuff that your craft check will kind of make a little bit easy. And then we'll kind of go with that. So, as far as alchemy, some basic things. You can make acid, alchemist's fire, a smoke stick, a tinder twig, antitoxin, a sunrod, a tanglefoot bag, or a thunderstone. Those are like some basic things that you can do with that. If you'd like to know what any of those are, please ask.
I would like to know what all of them are.
Well, alchemist's fire is literally
Oh no,
bottled
not
fire.
those. I'm talking about my vials.
Make some alchemist.
Oh, yeah.
I will.
So you have the vial of spider venom.
Yeah.
That will act as a poison. You know
Okay.
that much. That you have bottled spider venom. And that's what you have.
Can I make an antitoxin or whatever you said?
So if you want to make antitoxin, let's see what it says here. Okay. So there's a big list here, so let me just look real quick. I really wish it would just let me click on. There we go. Okay, antitoxin is if you drink a vial of antitoxin, you get a +5 alchemical bonus on fortitude saves against poison for an hour. So I will let you, if you want to use that venom, you can try to make an antitoxin with that.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so go ahead and make your craft alchemy check for me.
Oh, okay, hold on, give me 1 second. $20, unnatural.
Okay, I believe that works. Let me just check real quick.
If it doesn't, what the?
I'm just checking.
Vial of anti-venom.
Right.
Okay.
Plot twist takes a
You roll
30
a
to make
total
a
of 20?
sunrod.
Yeah.
Okay. You start to make some progress on it, but it doesn't quite finish. Antitoxin's a little bit complicated.
Oh my goodness.
It does look like you made some progress on it, but you haven't completed it.
Okay. What about the other two?
So what else did you have? You had the zombie goop.
And the larval slime. Crawler slime.
Okay, so the larval slime, you're pretty sure you could just kind of use it as an oil.
Okay.
It's very slick, as you've noticed by your companions kind of slipping all over it.
Yeah, namely me.
It doesn't look like it can really be used for lighting, but it definitely looks like if you spread that somewhere, it will make that area very slick. As far as the zombie stuff, you could try to make some anti-plague with it. So basically, if you drink a vial of this foul-tasting milky tonic, you get a +5 bonus on fortitude saves against disease.
Hey.
If you're already infected, you can make 2 saving throws that day and use the better result. This is also a very complicated thing to make.
That's okay, let's get started with it.
Alright, go ahead and try your craft.
I think you got time, so.
I see her starting to make that, and I just like. Ugh.
And what did you call it? The
Anti-plague.
Plague.
Go ahead and make a craft alchemy check for me.
Jesus.
23.
Did you add your +2 from your lab?
Oh, yeah, no, I already did it. Yeah, it's 23.
Okay. Again, you've made some progress, but nothing's completed yet.
Okay.
Especially with these really strange components, it's kind of tricky. You were taught with more traditional materials that you could just buy. The zombie goop is kind of starting to turn a grayish color instead of the traditional black that it was.
So, okay.
It looks like it's converting. It's
okay.
kind of bubbling now, so it's kind of, the reactions are kind of taking a while though.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the antitoxin, you haven't used it with spider venom before. It's kind of starting to turn this weird yellowish color with like a purple just hints in it. And it was green to start with, so kind of like.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
So while that's brewing, what are the rest of you doing?
Lost in space.
So
Yeah, he's still sitting there, by the way.
Can I,
is there like any
try again?
forests or anything around?
Well, you're near the mountains.
Okay.
You don't really see many forests around.
Okay.
This terrain's very
That's what I
craggy
was
and it's
looking
very
for.
rough.
All right.
Alright, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead, get my bedroll out of one of Bennigan's saddlebags, go ahead, lay it down, and then just sort of like meditate and like be one with nature, I guess.
That's what. Yeah, I said Malcolm's doing a pretty good job being one with the universe right now. So you're just gonna kind of chill in your bedroll.
Yeah, sure.
Bennigan's gonna kind of just lay down next to you, and kind of just sit, just chill for a bit.
Yeah, I'll be by
Malgrim.
yeah, I'll be by Malgrim.
Xander.
Just so that way, anything happens, I'll.
Okay,
Okay.
Xander, what would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna be on kind of the other side of Malgrim, and I'm gonna I know I can't learn anything from it, but I'm gonna open the scroll that I got the day before when we were in the ruins about the mass raise undead, and I'm just gonna like kind of read over it and like really come to terms with the fact that I just saw at least something that resembled like my master.
Yeah, this is definitely his handwriting as you're studying it.
Yeah.
And actually, he was a very ordered guy. He was very traditional in his writing style. This looks like scrawling to you.
Okay.
It's not. It doesn't look in the very traditional format that he writes. This looks like the ravings of a madman if your master wrote it in handwriting.
Okay.
And you even notice there's like some blood stains in the corners.
Oh, great.
So this was definitely being used while he was experimenting with things.
Okay, cool.
Murph.
I'm gonna kind of investigate the mountains, see if I can find any caves or something.
Sure. Give me a knowledge nature.
Does knowledge geography also work? Actually, now I think about it, they're both the same anyway. So
knowledge nature would be probably better here.
Okay, I got a 24.
Yeah, so you kind of start like kind of feeling through some of the stuff. You notice that like there's not really any like cavern entrances near like these rocks anyway, because you're not quite in the range. You're kind of on the outside part.
Okay.
So this is like where some boulders were kind of starting to pop up and everything, but nothing like crazy.
So if there was gonna be caves, it'd be more inward.
It'd be in the range probably.
Okay.
Yeah, and this village is you're getting closer to the village, but it's still kind of on the outskirts of like the base. Now it has been a little while, Malgrim. Give me a intelligence check, please.
20.
There we go.
So, after about 2 hours of having an existential crisis inside of your own psyche,
When did it get dark?
Xander and Sibo, you two kind of shake a little bit as you just see Malgrim stand up, and his eyes kind of just return back to normal. And what does Malgrim do once he kind of gets out of this stupor?
I don't know. He's just gonna. I'm gonna take out my bedroll too because I'm guessing it's nighttime.
Oh,
It's
far
nighttime.
beyond, my
Yeah.
friend.
I don't have
I'm gonna take out my bedroll, like roll it out. I'm just gonna lay down.
All right. So, is everyone kind of going to sleep at this point?
Yep.
Okay.
He
Oh,
sleeps
wait,
on the
hold on.
ground.
Hold on, someone should take watch.
I'll take watch because I don't have a bedroll, and I'm gonna steal whoever's bedroll wants to take watch after.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and just start watch.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Can somebody remind me about everything you've killed this session? I know you guys got the 2 larval crawlers.
3
Three
spiders.
spider
3
guys.
spiders.
Seven zombies.
Is that everything?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two larvae. 3. Yeah, 7 times.
Okay. I'm just checking real quick. Can someone try to figure out how much XP you guys need for level 3?
Hang on, it'd be on it'd be on 30, I think. Page 30. But that's character advancement.
5,000.
Okay, 5,000, and you guys have how much for level?
Well, it depends. Are we going slow, medium, or fast? Is it medium?
I'd say medium.
So 5,000.
Okay, and how much do you guys have?
2,000 from level 2.
Where?
Okay, so you guys have
To get to
2,000,
level
and you need 3,000 more to get to where you're going, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm
I'm just gonna calculate everything real quick for you guys.
Just-
I don't think you guys hit it,
Doubt it.
Oh,
but I'm just gonna.
Except Malgrim from just kicking straight ass all day.
Right, yeah, for real.
Comes out and he's just like, I feel pumped. His health's all back. He's just all over the place.
I don't know if he feels exactly pumped.
Not anymore.
No.
I was before.
no,
I'm
he's
just
just
kinda
dead inside.
You have a new sense of understanding of yourself, and you're not sure you like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you all look at him when he gets out, you look like you're shaking still.
Probably.
You don't look like you're calm, collected, kind of like ragey self.
Yeah.
You look like someone just your whole life's just been shaken.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I wasn't expecting any of this.
Okay, so there are 5 of you. Not that number. I need another 0. There we go.
God, it looks like the math we did trying to figure out if we could put metal detectors in schools.
I know. Okay, so each of you will get 440 XP.
That's such an awkward number.
And then also for completing the kind of the first arc of this, I will award you guys. How much are you guys at from that part?
2,440.
Okay. My hand.
Make it a good
2,440. Okay. I will give you guys another 560. Bring you guys just up to an even 1,000 for the day.
There you go.
You guys have completed the first kind of basic arc, the exposition. You guys have kind of started to go into this different style of adventuring now. You guys have noticed that this, whatever this is, the darkness that was let out is starting to spread. It's going all kinds of places now. Especially, you don't know where that beast went.
Yeah.
It just took off. As well, Lydrenn is... It's gone. It's decimated. Ferdinand is trying to rebuild something, but he doesn't have a lot of help. So there are some villages around, one of which you guys are kind of headed towards now. If you so desire, you could ask them for assistance or anything that they can really offer. Otherwise, you're kind of free to explore around. Sylvia went to Breinstead, which is another coastal city. It's south of Lydrenn. It's on one of the edges of the coast of this region as well. That's an option for you guys. Otherwise, any other places you guys want to explore, it's there for you. So that is where we are going to end the session for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Dice of Might podcast, and we will see you guys next time.